never lie with you. I can never afford not to afford. I can never put my plans to the side with you. I can never see a red light like a deer with the headlight. I freeze up when I re-up.
And we are live at the mother friggin' Rebar for another friggin' episode of the one and only motherfucking Rebar Show with your host, JP motherfucking Fingers. I couldn't do it, Dave. I'm sorry, man.
Okay, that's
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the one and only Rebar Show with your boy, JP Fingers, and
Wiseman
the one
Pipes,
and only
baby.
Wiseman Pipes. And we are joined by, I mean, this is tough to describe.
The dopest of the dope.
We are joined by boutique cigar shop owner. We are joined by an author. We are joined by an OG podcast guy. We are joined by
The realest motherfucker.
I want to say grandfather, but I'm going to call you like the father of just the cigar game.
yeah. Father's better. I'm working my way there, though. I'm getting there.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Dave Garofalo.
Hey, buddy.
Dave,
I am not worthy, and I'll be honest with you. I'm a little scared because I've listened to your show a bunch of times. I'm worried about the questions. I like asking the questions, not answering the questions. And when you get towards the end of this, I'm a little nervous of it, but I'll do my best.
It's weird to be on the other side, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have any questions, we're glad that we'll
Open
answer them
book.
all day long. Yeah, 100%. We're an open.
All right. First question I got: Fingers. What kind of last name is Fingers? English or what's Fingers?
Not my actual last name, but
Oh, all right.
so Justin is my first name. Pao is my last name. I developed the nickname JP. Just I don't know, it's short. But Fingers is
Okay.
I lopped my fingers off on a dirt bike sprocket 14 years ago,
right.
15 years ago. So my riding buddies are just like JP Fingers.
Does everybody know this story, or is this the first time you're telling this?
Everybody, Dave.
I think a shit ton of people know it. Yeah.
Really? I didn't know it. It must have been
Everybody
an early
always
episode.
Why is it JP Fingers?
And
Like,
Wise man. Your last name's Man, and your parents decided to name you Wise.
Yeah, they wanted to fuck me up here.
I mean, I'm an interesting name.
That's it. So, Dave, we're so happy to have you on the show, man. It's been a long time coming. We're glad to have you answer some questions.
No. It's not even. I think.
Chat.
No, I got to tell a little bit of the
Okay.
backstory.
Okay.
I got a little bit of the backstory to this episode. The episode in the making, I guess. I asked Oliver from United Cigars. I go, Ollie,
Yeah.
you got to
Oliver
get
Nouveau.
Dave on the show.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not having any part to do with that. Dave's listened to your show. Doesn't hate it, but it's just like he knows you guys do your thing. He knows you guys do your thing. And he goes,
It's a different thing than my thing. I'll tell you that. It's a different thing.
I'll give you Dave's email address. And I go, if we're gonna go about it this way, don't even worry about it. I'll just DM him like a savage.
Right.
So I was just like, screw this. I'm just DMing Dave. So I DM'd Dave and I was like, hey, you want to come on my show? And I know you thought a lot because you talked to Oliver, and Oliver told me, he's like, dude, Dave's like, well, you know, why do they want me on their show? This and that. Like, we're completely different, but we're different, but we're not. And I guess the big scheme of things, where, you know, what you do is just it's a part of our show.
You lovers of the leaf, you're entrepreneurs, and
Dude, you're a fucking businessman.
and
So
you're
I just
and
swore.
good guys.
You're
Let's
good
do it.
guys. You're businessmen, and you just, dude, you carry yourself properly. You know, I try to carry myself properly, but I carry myself, I guess, in a different way than how you carry yourself.
A proper degenerate.
but-
Yeah, you got to work on that properly thing. Yep. I see it.
At the end of it, though, we're still going to sit down and have a cigar, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I may be the guy you're throwing out of your shop, but we'll still sit down and have a cigar.
Before you get out of there.
So,
That's it.
how old are you guys?
So I'm 35.
I'm 26.
All right. So between the two of you, you're 30, and I'm 60. So I'm twice your age. Between
Combined.
both of you, add both of
Combined.
you up together, it's 60, and I'm 60. So
Hey,
we
said,
got
yeah,
another
you're not wrong.
generation here.
If I get to be 5 years younger, done deal.
age is just a number, Dave. Come
That's
on.
it. That's
Yeah.
that's all it is, man. I smoke with guys in their 50s and their 60s, and I've had blasts with them.
We had a guy
Yeah,
at the cigar shop a few months ago, and he must have been fucking 70, and he was a riot, man. He was a good dude. Bourbon drinking, son of a gun.
every bourbon we pulled out, he's never had, but he owns every single bourbon in the market at home. Oh yeah, I got that
Well,
bottle.
when I go,
No, I don't.
you know, I got into the business in 1985. 25-year-old Dave.
Great
And
year,
the industry,
great year.
yeah.
1985, baby. All right.
And in 1985, I'm selling cigars, and my customers are old guys like me now. But I did connect with them. That was the amazing thing. I said, "What am I? Am I an old soul, or what's going on?" Because I like these old guys. And I hung out with them, and I just loved it. And I switched from the business I was in into this full time because it was awesome. The cigar smoker is awesome, and I don't care if the cigar smoker's 20-year-olds, and we have them at the store, and I sit with those guys too, and I sit with guys even older than me, and there's something to it. Love is a leaf, right? We got something in common.
That's it. There's always there's the no matter what, there's just the one thing, and the one thing will always just bring you. It'll unite you guys. You know what? You know what? I said the word unite. All right, we gotta start the show off. We gotta get the show rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Rebar Show is brought to you by United Cigars. My friends, people that aren't my friends, you're going to become my friends. You guys got to start living united. You guys got to start smoking united. Go to your local retailer. Go in there. Grab the United Cigars. If they don't have them, you demand they get United Cigars in. If they still don't want to carry them, you hit up UnitedCigarGroup.com, and there's a list of all the online retailers that will get United Cigars to your doorstep. You know what? Some of them will accept the promo code REBAR. And you know what? Especially right now, hit up twoguyscigars.com. I know they will get.
We got them.
I know they will get United Cigars to your doorstep. Ladies and gentlemen, life gets a lot easier when you start living united and smoking united.
Yeah.
So, never before than now.
Yeah,
exactly, right? All right.
So our disclaimer is we're going to try and keep it proper for Dave over here and doing a little bit better on ourselves. But
please be yourself if you want. But just take it easy on me. I'm an old guy.
Oh, Dave, come on. You can still hang.
Dave can hang.
We will do and say probably some dumb shit, some funny shit. If you don't like it, fucking kick rocks. If you do like it, come and hang with Dave and us, but it is not affiliated or representative of our sponsors' views or opinions in any way, shape, or form. And we hope you love this show. It's going to be fun.
Show. We're here with the big time dude.
Yeah.
Dave Garofalo. You know, you guys have all heard of Dave. You guys never heard of us, so this is easy. Well, I mean, seriously.
They've never heard of us as they tune into the show.
Well, I mean, I hope.
No, that's it. This is your audience, not mine. So I'm honored to be here, to be honest with you. And
I mean, I may have told some people, I'm like, hey, Dave Garofalo's on the show. And people are like, what? Actually, you know who I told? So I know he was at your shop not that long ago. You know Victor? They call him TNT.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
So I was like, he's a fan of the show. Dude, this dude literally idolizes you. And he's like, dude, like, you got to tell Dave this. You got to tell Dave, like, and he's like, seriously, you want some notes for this? And I was like, dude, yeah, help me out, man. Because he's like, this isn't your style of show. And I was like, it is, but it isn't. I'm like, it is in the way we're going to fucking make it this way. This is going to be our style, right? And he's like, dude, you got to tell Dave that, Victor TNT, man, this guy is, dude, yeah, man, you're a legit role model, man.
And he travels a long way when he comes up. Where's he? He's from New York?
He's from, I'm going to butcher it, where he's from in New York. I want to say like Long Island.
Yeah, it is New York.
Maybe. I don't know. Sorry, Victor.
Yeah, so I mean, we're a good 3 hours away, 3.5 hours away. So
yeah, they'll do short.
It's very humbling when people drive a long way up or fly up and come see the show, because we have a place for a live audience to go. And when they come up, I'm like blown away. I'm apologetic. Like, I'm sorry. This is it. This is it. I'm sorry.
If you
think I buy you a cigar or something, because this is it.
I mean, I need to step up my game if people are here for a live audience. Yeah. And I've had people here a few times, and it's just like,
sit over there.
I just get them all liquored up, and it's just like, here's cigars, and I've never even apologized. So
no, never apologize.
So I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready for your show, and I want to see what you had on last week. Hot girl last week.
For days.
Hot. And I'm listening to the questions you're asking. I'm like, oh my God, where am I going to go with this? Now this morning, I get up and I go for my first cup of coffee, and I just look to see what you're doing. and you're shooting your second shot, your second beer, or whatever it was, shooting it. And I go, wow, we are so the opposite. I haven't had my second cup of coffee yet. And you're shooting shots. I go, and this is warming up for this, that was 12 hours ago.
To be honest
13.
though, I did wake up and I had a nice cup of coffee, smoked a cigar, and then I had an espresso, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm spending the whole day by the pool. Let's get things going, right? And I was just like, you know what's gonna really? I was waiting for people to call me out and be like, oh, that was from last night. Oh, that, and I was just like, you know what? I got a pool day today. I got a podcast tonight, so I'm hanging out with my friends by the pool all day, and my wife and her family. And I was like, I know I got my buddy coming over here at night, and I was just like, let's I'm gonna have a rebar day.
It's a rebar day. You need some of them rebar days.
I don't know. It's something that I guess just adapted to a lifestyle.
The shotgun lifestyle.
So
yeah, it's
the second question. First was your names. Now, what about the name of the show, the one and only Rebar? What is a rebar?
Oh God, it is fucking amazing hearing you say rebar, Dave.
Oh, rebar. Rebar is something you bury in concrete.
Correct.
To help form stuff, right? So when I was probably 22, 23 when I got into my career. And it was rebar. I was a rebar, I guess, fabricator, production guy, crane guy, all the shit with rebar. And fast forward to probably 26, 27. It was either me, you, or Matt, Rusty.
Yeah.
And we just got talking, and everybody would always congregate here on a Saturday. We'd have like 8, 9 people here, and everybody's like, what's it called? What's it called? What's it called? And then I was just like, you know what? The rebar.
Yeah.
The rebar. And then a bunch of people would start coming from out of town when they would travel here. And they're just like, man, we got to make it there to the one and only rebar. Because they would come here and then they leave and they're just like, man, like life's different here.
This is the Mecca. Like you want to have a oh fuck.
Sorry, boy.
You want to have a pilgrimage to the rebar in Canada.
And we got coasters made. It's just the one and only rebar, and so the whole story behind it was when I was 21, when I was 19, the only beer I could really get over the border when I would come back from a BMX trip was High Life because it was just dirt cheap, and I just drank that, and so High Life has always been. I've been a huge collector in High Life. Like I just love it. I love the history of it and everything. And I was like, you know what, the one only rebar, and then me, you. Have just put a lot of thought into it. It's like, let's incorporate the one and only rebar with the High Life thing. And then it just, I don't know.
It's blossomed.
Yeah, it's just blossomed and it's took off and I don't know.
And it's a show too.
And so I mean, to be honest, Dave, I've dialed it back a lot over the years.
As you get older, you start dialing it back.
The video you saw this morning would be me still up.
Yeah.
But it's, I've matured within the company that I'm with. I've been there 12, 13 years now, and just growing up a lot. But this is my place just to be me and to show. I guess in a weird way, I guess it's my creativity.
Yeah. Everyone needs that outlet, whether it's business ownership or artistic creativity or something like this, where you're running something. You're really developing and starting up a brand, so to speak, or a lifestyle.
Yeah, I'd legit say the one and only rebar, the actual term has been probably 3 years now. And then probably 2 years ago, we were in here, me, Wiseman, and Driller, our media guy who's not here. We're like, I was literally like, guys, we're doing a podcast, and I had a GoPro set up literally on the table that the laptops rest on now, and it's like, fuck it, guys, we're doing a podcast. And the first episode was like 20, 30 minutes, but the GoPro like cuts out after 15. So I think the first night we were like 4 takes.
Yeah.
4 or 5 takes.
And that's
and it's like as the night goes on, we're drinking and smoking. So it's just like as the night goes on, I'm fucking drooling out the side of my mouth. He's passing out like it. And then we slowly like get better at it. And then it's just we're getting like, between views and listens, it's like 30 a month. And we're just like, oh man, people are listening to us. People are listening to us. And then it's just
They
something
are.
that I think we just started living it, like in a
Yeah.
weird way. Like we just became it, and like just it evolved with our lives. And it's just like, dude, we're known as the Rebar. Like that's it.
Yep. And you got to get your audience to share it. If you're listening here, you have to share their show because they're actually being held back because of the language, first off, and because of the music you hear. I told them before the show started, let me give you a little hint of what happened because it happened to us that we got pushed back because of the music and the language. And if you're going to continue that way, and that's okay, that's what you're going to do for the show, the only way to grow is going to be your listeners, and you got to ask them to do you a favor. So I'll ask them to do you a favor. Share the show. Tell other people about it because that's how it grows anyway.
So
Because most likely you, the guy listening here, your buddies are into cigars too. So they should be into the Rebar and be part of it, and that's going to multiply
right
and
on.
get big.
That's
Yeah.
that's cool. And I mean, we exchanged words before the show, and Dave, I appreciate you being here, and I'm stoked that you're here.
And so you're talking, Dave, a little tips with doing the podcast and stuff. But we were talking before the show, and you're the podcast OG. You're like
Dude, you're podcast king.
you're the guy who really started to evolve when podcasting was coming about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
tell us a
so-
little bit about the podcast.
So it was about social media. My daughter said, you got to get into social media and set me up with a Facebook account. I think it was that started off with. And then as I did it, people were writing into me and I would write something and then they would write underneath it. And then she says, you're not answering these people. And I said, I already wrote what I had to write. And she says, no, this is social. You have to be social with them. I said, answer it for me. And she said, I don't know how to answer this for you. I can't do it. And I'm like,
Right.
how can I keep track of all these conversations at once, run 3 retail stores, a mail order operation, along with I do other things too. And I said, there's no way I can do this. And I read a book on social media, taking a plane trip somewhere. And it's the only time I read a book. And it's always business related type of thing, not a story book, but something business related. And I'm looking at this podcast that started off from MTV, actually. The guy who created Headbangers Ball, he's the guy that created the podcast. And I said, wow, a one-way thing that I get to say what I got to say. People listen to it. If they write into something, that's great. I can read it, but I'll be able to spew all my cigar stuff that I want to say.
Yeah.
And let me try that. And we started off with an intro song that was a song I liked. And we were pushed back and we going into breaks and stuff. That was the problem. Swearing became a problem. And so I backed all those things off. And it took me a long time. It took me 3 years to get less than where you are, believe me, far less than where you were 3 years into it. We were a dwarf. But I'll tell you something. Now we have a podcast studio and there's 20 shows that operate out of us on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something. 97% of shows never make it to the first year. 52 episodes. And you guys are a year and a half into it. You're 97%. There's only 3% better than you. And now you're at a year and a half. It's probably 2%. You get into 2 years, it becomes a 1%er. And the people to hang on and keep going because it's a commitment. And for you listeners, you think it's nothing to do this and no preparation, and it is. It's work to do it. If you don't think it is, try doing it yourself. It's not that easy. They did episode 1 and they had to do it 4 times, right? Of getting ready for this. Some of your shows go into 2 hours long. It's a lot of work for these guys and playing off each other. I promise you it is. And it takes years and years to develop it as it's going. And there's some people that do it years and years and still terrible at it. I'm no broadcaster. I have a terrible speech. I don't have a good vocabulary or whatever, but I'm passionate about the product. I care what I'm talking about. And I see that in you guys. You care about what you're talking about. And that's why people are listening.
That's very fucking humbling.
Wow.
Honestly, like, yeah.
But it's very articulate
I'm
for
actually,
what you're saying.
Oh, 100%.
And it shows a lot of resonance. So I will just come out and say it first and foremost. I'm pretty much literally nothing to do with this show. JP is
you're my soundboard. Like,
Yeah,
I spit
okay.
to you, and it's I know I'm gonna get an answer.
We
I know I'm
have-
gonna get good or bad.
we
But that's-
have
You-
a good rapport.
You are the Mr. Jonathan of the Rebar show. Now,
Exactly.
Mr. Jonathan, who works for me, he's the color coordinator.
right.
And he can take something I say, let me take a sip of water, answer my thought, finish my thought for me. I watch it. Believe me, I watch you guys. You have it. I mean, your
Yeah.
position is very, very important. I've got stuck where Jonathan and Barry was away, and I got stuck doing it by myself. Jonathan had quit before, and it was me by myself, and I'm bringing on customers and whatever I could bring on. Oh my God, what a nightmare!
So
Till I get him back. What a difference!
you've done an episode by yourself before, right?
Yeah,
How hard is it?
very.
I've done
Very.
one. I've done one where literally I just read people's questions and comments, and I was just like, I'd say something funny, and then I'm like, when you do, you're recording, like you're waiting for a reaction. It's just like, was
my
that
God.
good? Was that not? I
So,
don't know.
My point was, I don't really do a lot for this show, and to say that 97%.
Why do you keep rubbing it in my face?
No, I don't do a lot.
I know
He
You're rubbing it in my
does.
face.
He does everything. He is the brains,
No.
the brawn behind this operation, carries the show, and to know Justin as a person for so long, I never thought to see him see this through for over a year and a half, however long we've done it. We've done like fucking 70 episodes, 80 episodes.
We're probably about 80, 82, 83.
God damn.
Yeah.
And I never thought to ever have him see this through the way he does. So it's very impressive
But
and very humbling to see that.
It's not even that though. I think it was just
You're having fun too.
I'm having a blast, but it's like my head's fucked up. You know what I mean? And it's just like it's fucked up in a good way. And I don't mean to keep saying the F word, but it's just what it goes on in my head. It helps me feel better when I share it.
Absolutely.
And when I share it, I feel that's when people are like, man, you're right, dude. I agree with you. And then you start seeing the actual feedback from it.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the fucking that's the huge rewarding thing to me. And then knowing this dude for like what 8 years,
Yeah.
9 years, and it's just he was always my dude. This guy's my best friend, right? So to actually be like, dude, we got to do it. And I kid you not, like 2 years ago, this guy was even shyer than he is now, and even more quieter.
This is good for you too, but this is good for you, right?
But
That's great.
See that, and that's
Yeah.
it. I know I brought this guy out of his shell.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's great
won't
to
say
have it's okay, relax. It's great to have that rapport. But so one of the things I wanted to touch on when you started your show, Dave, you said you had 3 years where there wasn't a lot of growth within the
No.
show. Did you have, because I think that right now the one and only Rebar Show has a real strong cult following, and we're expanding out into the community. Did your podcast have that sort of same growth where it was very cult following?
It did not. And, I had a guy named Tommy Grella was my co-host at the beginning of it. About 1 year into it, he quit. And that left me with Mr. Jonathan, who was the producer, actually, not a speaking role in it. He was the guy on the board. And every once in a while, we called him the newbie. What do you think of this? Because he really wasn't big into cigars. But the other guy ended up quitting, so I just have him. And then he quit. And then I hire a producer, and I have a producer who was a cigarette smoker, and I'd say, can you smoke a cigar during this thing? He's off camera anyway, but it's just me. And it went through all these things, and I'm not a quitter. I follow things through. Part of my success is that I don't quit. Sometimes the juice ain't worth the squeeze. I should have quit, but I don't know any better to quit because I'm just going to keep following it through. But then all of a sudden, start seeing a little something happen. And then somebody said to me, I want to advertise in your show. 3 years into it, I get my first advertiser in it, which never mind the money. It wasn't about that. It was like, this guy believes in that there's something here too. Because I'm all by myself. I'm the only one that believes in it. Even the other people that were on the show didn't believe me. The producer does because I'm paying him. Nobody else. I'm like, oh,
Got zero option.
Yeah.
Hey, I believe
like,
in
yeah,
you
keep
too.
going, Dave. Keep going, of course. Yeah, keep going. So I got my first advertiser. Then I get another advertiser, and then people start saying it to me or writing into the show. And I'm going to tell you something. At the beginning of it, we're not getting anybody writing into the show, and I'm talking to myself, and I would write myself letters to the show. And I'm going to be honest with you, I would write into the show myself
It's amazing.
just to have something to talk about. Okay, Bill from Wisconsin asks, "What's the right way to cut a cigar?" Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that, just so I have something to end up doing.
But you know,
now we get so many, it's unbelievable. We can't read them.
here's where I'm at with that though. You're asking, you're essentially doing this because people are, they're too ashamed or too embarrassed to ask that maybe.
Yeah.
Right. So you're talking about things that people need to, they need to know the answers to, or that, there's, you tell me, if you were to search on Google how to cut a cigar,
it's overwhelming.
Millions and millions of searches. But nobody wants to be like, hey, will you come over and show me how to cut a cigar?
Yeah. So I think that we've kind of developed this niche.
Let me go to the bathroom.
This niche in the market where we're not necessarily qualified to tell you what to do, right?
Or not to do.
Or not to do. We just share our humble opinions. The show started from the ground up where it was just Justin, myself, and Driller just hanging out in here and talking like we would talk with Dave if you were off air. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, this was a conversation.
It's not a tutorial
at
all. It's just us hanging out and having fun.
But we say at the end of every show that you probably learned nothing here today. If you've learned nothing, keep the lid out of your mouth. But within every single show, sometimes it's stockpiled with information, but a lot of times it is talking with people and it's us talking or whatever. But there's something in there. I've listened to enough of your shows. I didn't listen to every single show, but I must have listened to 40 of the 80 shows you got up there.
Wow.
And there's something in there all the time, and it's fun and it's entertainment, and sometimes there's information. And here's the magic: if you can do that, if you can make people have fun, and you can slip some information in there while he's having fun. I don't know what's going on back there.
He just fell.
No,
He fell.
I almost fell.
He's been drinking all day.
Oh, fuck.
Can you blame me?
Sorry, Dave.
Take some hits.
So there's oh my
No homo.
God, he just rubbed my hand.
I doused myself in hand sanitizer.
We don't do that in the United States. There's no touching. Still.
We're all about cleanliness.
Cleanliness next to godliness.
That's it.
So the show, you're right. There is a lot of information in tidbits. It's mostly
In our show?
yeah. There's mostly
majority of it's just a waste of people's time, but it's
entertainment.
Funny.
It's
funny,
entertainment.
Correct.
That's what we're
Dick and fart jokes, and there's a little something in there too, and that's how to put it in there.
Between the dick and fart jokes, that's where the gold.
There's something, right?
We're like Beavis and Butthead, where it's like we're very.
I'm definitely.
I guess
Beavis.
we're very like pop. We're pop culture forward.
Yeah, we're down with it, but
and your audience is going to take to that. And you're doing something good for the entire cigar industry because you're bringing people like you into the cigar industry, which I can't. You're either at 60 years old, you're either smoking cigars or you're not smoking cigars. Not a lot of 60-year-olds are saying, I think I'll take up smoking. It's probably not happening. You guys are doing it. Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
I need the next generation, and maybe I can't do it.
If I got to give a shout out to the older dudes at cigar lounges, I got to give a shout out to Sam and Phil. So I'm at a cigar lounge, 20 minutes away from here, and I meet these two older dudes, and they're like, I don't know, you just, you came in really funny, they say to me, and I was like, what do you mean? They're like, you came in with like 2 12-packs, stomping in with a bag full of cigars, and you just sit down and you just start, you're sitting there by yourself just yelling at the TV. I think I was watching like football. So they come over, they start talking to me like, what are you smoking? This and that. And I literally with Sam and Phil, I was like, yo, you guys want to go do a shotgun? And they're like, what's a shotgun? And I was
it's bringing that culture.
Like, come with me. And then you start showing them what you're smoking.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm smoking this. It's like, and some of these guys, I've been like, yo, let me go buy you one of these.
Yeah.
Like, you're questioning me. You're like, I only smoke, such and such cigar. And I was like, dude, trust me on this cigar. Like, let me go grab you one. And they're like, I grab them one, I'll grab them one, pay for it, boom, bring it back to them. They're like, show me what you grabbed today. So literally I'll run through a cigar and I'm like, I grabbed one of those, I grabbed 2 of those. And they're just like, what he says, just grab.
Yeah.
And it's crazy though when that happens. Like when that happens, you've been in one cigar lounge with me ever.
Okay, so what he's trying to say, I think, holy fuck, is you're appropriating the next generation or the past generation of cigar smokers to keep up with what is current now.
It's okay to be like this, but it's also okay to be like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the beauty of the cigar lounge. That I'm sitting next to an attorney, a trash collector, an unemployed guy, a young kid that just started in the cigar lounge. I've been looking at it for 35 years, many stores, and that's the beauty of it. And you know something? Sometimes the younger guy gets friendly with the older guy. It's amazing stuff.
That's it.
There we go. And I'm doing it. I put my cigar down because I heard you
know
were
what? You know what?
first Atabay, right?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get into what we're smoking, what we're drinking, and that's brought to you by Luxury Cigar Club. When you're looking for any of these monthly Cigar Club subscriptions, you got to hit up with the best. Go with what's in the name. Sitting right behind me. Me and Wiseman are big fans of the Luxury Cigar Club. Hit them up. Use promo code REBAR. Save yourself some coin. All right, Wiseman, you go first, and then we'll go to Dave.
What I'm smoking, what I'm drinking.
You got to make a big deal out of this fucking thing.
Okay, because you know what? We've had this joke running on the show for a long, long time.
There's been memes about it.
There's been tons of memes.
All over social media.
So I've never smoked.
You probably got 6,000 hits between all your fucking posts.
A lot of people
not smoking an Atabay.
A lot of people calling me a fucking cheap bastard. And first of all, I'd like to say I am, but that's besides the point. So this is my first
Cigar-wise, you're not cheap, though, if I got to chime in. Cigar-wise, you're not cheap.
I'm not cheap with anything. Like
you just said you're the cheapest guy ever, and now you're not cheap with anything.
I'm not cheap, but I do like to...
Alcohol and cigars, you're definitely not cheap. And cigarettes when we smoke them. You're not cheap.
My vices, I don't joke around. But this is my first Atabay. I've actually smoked. We had a prank the other episode that I snapped one, but I didn't.
Oh, Dave. Literally, he grabbed a cigar. Me and the other guy on the show, we thought it was a real Atabay, and he snapped it in half. And then I actually looked at it, and I was like, that's not even a fucking Atabay. Like, it's not an Atabay.
No, you weren't like that. You definitely didn't know. So I'm smoking my first Atabay. I'm drinking some G&Ts because it's summer and it's hot as balls.
Is that local, or where is that from? Is it from Italy?
It's from Italy, I think.
Oh, ciao, Bella.
It's a ciao. It's fucking delicioso.
Manja.
Okay.
Thirst.
So, Dave, what are you smoking? I know you don't drink, so what are you pairing up here?
Yeah, I barely smoke, so I am smoking the Atabay Ritos. What size is that you're smoking?
That's like the Robo?
Yeah, it's the Robo.
It'd be like the 52. Oh, I mean.
Matt, I don't know what the fuck it is.
Fuck, there's a box up over there.
Whatever. Anyway, it's good.
So, okay.
I lit up the Ritos, but I was smoking, because I knew you were going to ask what I smoked. So I actually have a cigar named after me. This is Garofalo. And
that's the one that's got the G on it.
Yeah. So that was made by Nick Perdomo for my 50th birthday 10 years ago. He showed up in my office and he said, here, I have something for your birthday. And it was a box of cigars. I said, oh my God, you made a box of cigars for me. He says, no, I made an entire line. 4 sizes, three different blends, 4 sizes, there's 12 things. I'm like, what the hell? You got to be kidding me.
Dave,
and he said, no.
Watch your language.
Oh, I'm just trying to be careful. I said, why did you do this? And he said, if there's a retailer that needs a brand named after him, it's you. There's been one before. It was Zeno Davidoff. And you need to have a cigar named after you. So I did it. I hope you'll carry it. And I said, well, of course, I hope I like it. I hope I like it. So it's a nice cigar. Perdomo makes great cigars anyway. And he was nice enough to make the shade one lighter, which is what I prefer anyway. The Sun Grown is a little beefier. And the Maduro is actually too full bodied for me, but I smoke it every once in a while. But to be honest with you, despite having that name and it's named after me, it should be my favorite cigar. And I like it, but when I ever had the Atabay, there's nothing that tastes quite like this. It's a different blend of tobacco that doesn't exist. I've smoked every cigar in the world, things very, very rare cigars that you can't get, and I've spent $300 for a cigar because I needed to try the cigar that they don't make anymore, and all the craziness that I've done with cigars. And the day I lit up an Atabay, I said, oh my God, there's something different there. I don't know what's going on, but I love it. and I'll buy those brands, that brand, and if nobody else smokes it, I'll buy it myself because I'm in New Hampshire, and we're not rich dudes in New Hampshire. New Hampshire is not New York. They both start with new, but it's very different. And can I sell a $20 to $40 cigar in New Hampshire? And my employees said, hell no, we're not going to be able to do it. They don't know what the name of it is and all that stuff. I said, well, we're going to try to do it anyway. But if we don't worry about it because I'll smoke them myself if I have to. And they couldn't at the beginning. And I went down there and I showed them how to sell it. And all you got to do is sell them one, which is just what happened to you. And I want to see what happens to you a year from now if you ever smoke that cigar again, because you just let the cigar do its talking after that. Everybody says, oh my God, it's expensive. It's not worth it because they didn't smoke it. I said, you can't say it's not worth it till you smoke it. You certainly can, right after you smoke it, say whatever you want. But you got to smoke it first. And actually, you can't go to the very, very small size of it. You got to go something with some meat to it, some ring gauge to it, because it's the blend that's inside that ends up being all the difference. Still a good cigar the other way, but it's not fair to the blend without getting something with some girth to it to be able to taste the blend of it. Great cigar.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been here. You actually be like, you know what? Like, yeah, this is a fucking good cigar.
So I think it's been such a long time coming in the sense that
it's hyped up.
It was really hyped up, and it was the ongoing joke that kind of kept me away. But as soon as Justin said, you know, Dave's coming on the show, I was like, fuck, I need to smoke this now. So I'm so happy I smoked it. I have more at home. Like I got five or so at home. And
humble brag. Humble brag.
But I've had all of these cigars at home. And I've still not smoked them because of the joke, the ongoing joke.
And then I didn't even know he was smoking this tonight. And he's like, you know, what are you smoking for the episode? And I was like, actually, you know what? I might as well get into it now. What I'm smoking, what I'm drinking.
Yeah, do it. Go ahead.
So I'm smoking actually the OG United Maduro, going OG style, and this thing is they're great. It's phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about the cigar. The new ones, the old ones. They're, you know what, the United Maduro is just, that's got a place in my heart, and it's something I could just smoke any day of the week, any time of the day, and it just sits me down, and it's just like, you know what, this is nice. Like, this is good. Anybody can enjoy this.
So,
and it's, the price is phenomenal.
So that was one of the things, you know.
And gin and tonic, sorry.
One of the things that when Justin and I started this, when we needed a sponsor, well, we didn't need, we wanted the sponsor and someone to sponsor the show.
I didn't know if we wanted it.
We didn't know.
We were
blah, blah.
We could get this out of this, but like, let's just.
It was like, okay, if someone comes up to you and you don't want to sell out, but you don't want to rep something that you don't believe in.
Yeah, we didn't want to do something we didn't believe in.
So when Oliver came to us with this,
he's like, hey, like, what do you think about this?
It's unbelievable. We couldn't be happier to partner with someone so great.
Yeah.
And a company that's so good.
And it was, I mean, I think that's it's a saying that I guess all of our sponsors, like it's, you know, some of the sponsors we've sat down and thought about, you know, we weighed the pros, the cons, and it's like, well, what can we do for them? What can they do for us? Vice versa. Right. And it's one of those things, you know what I mean? We sat down and, you know, I've said it a million times before, somebody waves enough zeros in front of my face. Yeah, I'm going to take it. But until I get to that point where somebody's going to offer me all those zeros, I'm going to be picky as hell as though who I think should be on the show, who I think should sponsor the show, who I think should sponsor a segment. You know, why not, right? How are you with that sort of stuff with the show?
Sure. You know, some people say to me, you know, a lot of your sponsors are brands that you carry. Well, I carry, you know, there's a lot of brands out there. We carry a lot of cigars, but we don't carry everybody's brand. Yeah. And how do we end up picking a brand? We think it's a good value for that flavor, you know, a full-bodied cigar, a mild cigar, medium cigar, thick, thin, whatever it is. What's the right thing for it? But we have advertisers on the show of brands we don't even carry. But I know the manufacturer. We just don't carry it for whatever reason it is. And they want to be a sponsor for the show. Yes, okay. And that would be a commercial content, and there'll be somebody voicing it over, because I will not say on that commercial, hi, this is David Garofalo, and I like this cigar. We don't even carry it. So I'm not going to disrespect the brand, or I'm not going to, put myself in that situation, and I'm going to stand up for something I don't believe in either at the same time. Okay, I have a quick question for you. My next question for you is, you keep bringing up the same thing, and I'm playing like I know what you're talking about, but I have to ask the stupid question. What's OG?
Original gangster.
Original gangster, man. Like
All
the
right.
original, like, dude, the first to do it, man.
I had a feeling when we kept saying, we said OG probably like 3 times in this show, and I was like,
You
I'm
did.
not sure Dave knows what OG is.
I don't.
Okay, so you're the original.
You gotta start telling people you're OG.
Yeah, you're the OG.
You know, slap once, twice.
Somebody came to me many years ago, wanting to make a cigar brand, and I didn't know who they were. They were a rap company, and they wanted to make the cigar. And I said, okay, let me work on it. And it was a machine-made cigar. It was for blunt wrapping and all that stuff, or whatever was going on. And I worked on the model of this whole thing, and you'd actually open the box up, and their new label, whatever the new rap guy was coming up that they were bringing up, was going to be on the inside of the box, but the outside of it, which was all military-looking type thing, on the outside with the name of it on there, and open it up in the new thing. So it's all ready, and these guys are going to fly in, and I'm looking at what this company was, and I'm like, oh my God, talk about gangster. This is a rough group of guys that were coming in. And the people said to me, listen, we're businessmen. This is not what you think. This is a business. This is real serious. Don't worry about a thing. Actually, we're flying in on our own jets, and we're coming up to see you. I said, oh my God, okay. So this is the real deal. And we're talking about big volume here that was going to be. And I get a phone call the day of our meeting, way early of the day of the meeting. And they said, we can't show up because old dirty bastard died. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
And
they said,
serious?
I said, who? This was who's on first, this conversation at that point. And I'm like, who? And they said, old dirty bastard. I said, what old dirty bastard? And they said, old dirty bastard. And this was going back and forth. And I'm like, okay, that's the guy's name. Who's on first? It was like the most ridiculous thing. And I'm like, all right. I come home and I say to my daughter, hey, old dirty bastard died. She said, I know. And I'm like, what the are you talking about? What am I missing here? Oh, this is the guy of what it is. And that was the end of the project because he had passed away. So it was right there.
So Wu-Tang was going to make a cigar with you.
Yes, Wu-Tang Clan was the brand.
Holy
and then it was
shit!
Inside was the thing, and it never happened. It was
my God.
old dirty bastard died, and somewhere the original, and it was actually Swisher that did it for me. And we had all the prototypes made of where this was going to go, and they were going to do the distribution for me. And I put the idea together. They liked just a long story of whatever again, not understanding what this was, but hey, this can be something though.
Hey,
I mean,
shout out to ODB.
Yeah, shout out to ODB.
Yeah.
If nobody believes,
it lasted one more day.
We're here to answer, man. We're here to answer.
Nobody's more upset about his death than you, Dave.
True story.
So that's what I'm saying right now is that's why we call you an OG, I guess. And you're just like, you're proving it even more.
Yeah.
Like you're proving even, like, it's just.
Who does?
I might have never told that story before. Nobody probably knows except for within the store what that is. But the other guys to talk to because you know who it is. And the guys I hang out with
that's
the same thing. Which guy? What are you talking about? It was the fucking same thing.
And I mean, you got to look at it this way. Those guys could have any contact in the world, right?
Yeah, I don't know how it happened that they ended up coming to me. Who the hell knows?
The money those guys
was certainly before the podcast or anything.
That's why. All right, we got to get into a segment called "What's in Wiseman's Mouth."
All right,
yeah,
and that's brought to you by BeardedBuffaloOils.com. When you're looking for the best bearded oils there are beard oils on the internet, you hit up BeardedBuffaloOils.com. Use promo code REBAR, save yourself some coin. I'm still using the Winter Sense. Just because I like the way they smell.
And because you feel like it's cool.
I always feel like it's cool, man.
You down.
I'm feeling that I guess aloe vera. I don't know what they use in it, but you hit up beardedbuffalooils.com, promo code rebar. Get your
And the
customized
wise
stuff.
man doesn't use any because shaved, right?
No,
I understand.
I keep it pretty tight to the
Yeah.
face here. I don't need any of
I'll
that.
show you tight to the face.
Yeah, get out of here.
All right. What's in Wiseman's mouth? Let's go. Let's see it.
So I am
You gotta fucking hype this up.
I still am. I'm smoking that fucking Atabay goodness right now. I wish I knew the size to tell you, but it's the Robo.
Like a Robo.
It's like the Robo. Man, if you have not, I know all you guys have smoked it, but if you haven't smoked this, you're watching the show, please take that $20 that's sitting in your wallet, go to the cigar shop and purchase one, or go online and try and find one. They're fucking great. It honestly is, not just because Dave's here, but it's fucking great.
All right, one puff.
All right.
3 words. Any 3 words. Could be anything that comes to mind. One puff, 3 words. Big retro. This guy, I'm start going to call him Retro Daddy.
Okay, precise. It's precision. It's unique. And it's also... I don't even want to say Cuban-esque because I know we were talking about the Behike and this being a very similar sort of like side-by-side. But I'm going to say it. I'm going to say Cuban-esque because it does have that really like high-grade Behike style to it. You know what I mean?
You guys heard our first year, man.
And
what's in Evan's mouth?
Yeah.
With his first ever Atabay.
And
this guy ain't gonna bullshit anybody.
I was really behind that. I don't really give a shit what anyone thinks. I'm gonna smoke it and decide for myself, and it's fucking good. I wish it wasn't so good. God damn, they're fucking good.
It's too much money. It's too much money.
They're fucking great.
This guy's an electrician, man. He makes great money, and he's just cheap.
I'm not cheap, but I do.
You're not going to be cheap anymore.
I do appreciate good stuff, and that is good stuff. So, people, if you're watching and you know you like good cigars, fucking buy one or buy a box. I don't care what you do.
Buy a box, man.
Yeah.
At the beginning of these cigars, they came in jars. Not anymore, but they came in jars, uncellophane. And take a cigar out of a jar, you got to grab the thing and you got to pull it out. You rub it against the other cigars. The damage was unbelievable. And I had a hell of a year because I was smoking them every day because I smoked damaged cigars. And they still taste just as good, but nobody's going to pay $20, $30 for a cigar that's all banged up. But it was happening all the time. Since then, they're in boxes, they're in cellophane, and everything's great on them. But we pulled the cellophane off. I don't have the cellophane one that I had, but what you'll see in the bottom of the cellophane is actually a hole cut in the cellophane. And the hole's there because they still want the cigar breathing after the cigar is made. You wouldn't believe the extra things that end up happening, why this cigar is so expensive. We're talking about post-rolled after the cigar is made. Everybody talks about 3-year age tobacco. Well, you're looking at 5-year age tobacco, and after that, you're talking about after that, 3 to 5 years after that. That's where the money comes in, that you're sitting on this type of thing.
Yeah,
now, you can buy a box of cigars and hang on for 3 years yourself, and you're going to improve a box of cigars. And we did a whole thing on the Cigar Authority about this aging process that ends up happening. Or you buy the box already complete, ready to go, and this is what ends up happening to a cigar.
So I do want to say something. Now, I'm sure you guys...
It tastes like aged tobacco.
It tastes like aged tobacco. But I'm saying, I know you, and I'm sure Dave, have given people stuff from their personal collection. When you have bought a box, you bring it home, you put it in your humidor, winador, whatever it may be, and then you sit on it, say 5 years, and you give it to someone. You're like, I've sat on this. I've aged it for you.
Yeah.
Enjoy it because it's fucking delicious. Atabay already took that out of the equation. They did that for you. And all that time and money.
The Byrons are like that.
Yeah. And when you have to think about it, you know, like it's money. It's almost like an investment sitting in an account gaining interest, right?
Yeah.
And that's the Atabay. It's gaining that complexity, that flavor. I sound like I'm really sucking the dick of Nelson, but it's fucking delicious, man.
Yeah. Now you guys have the Cuban cigars up there, and I know, especially in England, people buy boxes of Cuban cigars,
Yeah.
and they want the old dates, and they pay premium prices for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. It doesn't work in the United States like that. Wouldn't that be nice to end up having that on there? Because I would want the older box, for some stupid store that doesn't rotate their product properly, and
Right.
all of a sudden you see a box, and especially if they end up changing the packaging a little bit, and I'd see that old one. That's the one I want because I know it's been aged there.
Oh yeah.
So until the day Dunhill used to do it years ago, they used to put the dates in the box. That was one that happened with us while I was having Two Guys Smoke Shop, and the people would look for the old Dunhills. It happened to Bahia years ago that they would be looking for that year of Bahia, and then every other company said, "Oh, no friggin' way, we got to stop this. Don't put the year on it." Wine companies do, but the cigar companies are too smart, and they want you to buy the fresh ones too. And
It's unbelievable that people think, everyone has come culturally to decide that aged wine is good wine. Now, not necessarily the case if you're not rotating your bottles all the time, you're not keeping it at the proper humidities and temperatures. It doesn't really matter, or even the blend is not that good. I'm not a sommelier, but I'm just saying from general consensus, that's not the way it is. But people, especially in the tobacco industry, have fucking no idea. Guys who run shops have no idea that no, I want that old one. I don't want the new one. Well, the new is good.
Right.
No, the new is shit. I want the old one. Show me the oldest shit you have.
A lot of the time, the new.
You don't want new wine. New wine, it's called grape juice. New cigars is like grass or something. You don't want it.
Yeah.
You want the age. That's why you're the wise man. That is why I got the answer now. I understand. That's it.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
the
it.
wise man.
I mean, Dave, we've skated through here long enough. I think we gotta get some awkward.
Not the questions. Not the
Yeah!
questions. Oh no, not the questions.
Because you're Dave Garofalo, you don't have to answer them if you don't want to.
Yes,
Anybody
you do.
else, I'm like, you're fucking answering them.
Because you didn't make her answer the question last week, so I listened to that she didn't have to answer.
All right, we're fair game. We're fair.
What?
If you listen to last week's episode, we're good.
Yeah.
We're ready to roll. All right, it ain't
That
gonna
was
be any worse.
brutal. Brutal.
All right, Dave. Question number 1: your top 3 searches on Pornhub.
I have never been on it. Do you believe that? I
No,
know you don't believe
sure.
it, but it's true.
Yeah.
I'm a 60-year-old man. It's some way past that, and we would have to buy dirty books and stuff back in the day and stuff.
That's an honest answer.
It's an embarrassing answer, but it's the truth.
All right.
Dave had Playboy magazines back in the day.
To tie into your answer of the first question,
We advertised in Penthouse magazine once. How's that?
Yeah.
well, that's great.
And I have that issue.
I mean, when you have that answer, you don't need to look at Pornhub.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. So question number 2 is going to tie into question number 1. Last time you peed sitting down. Dave's got legs and stamina.
Yeah. And I pee off, and again, at my age,
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't know. You might get tired.
but I'm standing up. I'm standing up if I. So
Dude.
it's got to be quite a while.
I know Dave's
quite a while.
Like, fucking pissed to sit down.
Dude, I fucking pissed sitting down this morning when I woke up.
So
I piss often, but number 2, not so often. Not as often as I would like.
Okay, that's fair. Drink some prune juice.
when was
Dave.
the last time you pissed sitting down?
I just said this morning when I woke up, I check my phone, I take a leak, and I have make a fucking morning of it.
I was Friday night when I came home off the golf course, and I was toast. So I realized Friday night I should have brought my own stuff, but I came straight from work, and all I brought was my golf bag, and it sat in my car all day. I told the guys, I was like, hey, we'll just order drinks from the bar all night long and bring them up to the golf course. They're like, no, don't worry about it. We're bringing our stuff. And they're like, I hope you don't mind drinking Bud Light. And I'm like, yeah, Bud Light's not a problem. They get out there. So me and 2 other guys, we brought a 30 rack, so 30 cans of Coors Light, played 18 holes, and they were gone. And I got home Friday night, and I was like, thought I had a fart, and I was like, whoop, caught it.
Well,
And for a day and a half, I had the Coors Light trots. Like, dude, I was shitting through the eye of a needle, man. Shitting through a screen door.
This is the reason we can't play this show on a public forum.
But you know what? So, okay.
Bud Mud. Bud Mud, right?
Yeah,
Bud
Bud
That's
Mud.
it. But so we're talking about grooming, personal care down there. You know what else we could talk about right now is Manscaped. You know what else I used on the golf course in
What?
between all those Coors Lights is Manscaped, and I used their ball deodorant. And you know what? My nuts never sweated one bit. I never got swamp ass. I never got anything. You know what? That's the only thing I use now on my area down there is I use the Lawnmower 3.0 and I use their ball deodorant, and I've yet to use the ball rejuvenator, which from what I read on it, it's actually you squirt it down there, and it's like your second wind down there for the boys.
Hey,
You rejuvenate them, and you smell fresh.
shout out to
I gotta go. I gotta go that route because for years and years it was always baby powder, Johnson and Johnson baby powder.
Dave,
Now there's a big lawsuit against it.
my guy.
People got
I'm
sick
telling
from it.
you,
Yeah.
you hit up manscaped.com, you order that ball deodorant, use promo code REBAR, and you're gonna save yourself 20%, and you're gonna get yourself free.
20.
I'm there. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Dave even knows he's like nobody's ever offering 20%.
Hey, Dave.
Oh, you said save some coin. I figured it was a couple of percent that they give you a
Well, I'm
freaking.
a 20% kind of guy. That's what we're offering
Wow.
20%.
here. Well, just with Manscaped.
Manscaped.com.
All right, that's it.
All the
Consider
other
it done.
sponsors, I'm going to let you wonder.
Hey, I was a big baby powder too. Johnson and Johnson. Shoot it up
Oh.
there, little puff.
Yeah.
You end up at the end of the day, you end up with like French loaves.
Yeah, little dough balls in there.
One time I didn't have any, and there was some other powder there. I can't remember, some medicine-y type of thing. What a burn! Oh my god, I can't remember what it was called, but it was one and done on that one thing. That burned for a while. I had to jump in the shower. I'm like, what the hell was that?
You got fucking athlete's foot
Never again.
powder on
Yeah,
your
it was probably athlete's foot powder or whatever it was.
Oh man.
Okay, one and done on that.
All right.
Question number 3.
This is the newest question. I think it's like could sort of swap out a question we had.
Yeah, we'll swap it out with this question.
So this is the brand new question. This guy Wiseman here created it. Dave, you're on a 3-seater jet ski, Sea-Doo.
Oh god,
Who's the other two, and what's their order?
in this,
they
in
gotta
the
be-
Sea-Doo.
they got to be older and fatter than me.
No.
Yeah.
You got to share the 3-seater Sea-Doo
I
with
mean,
them.
you can
Oh, I'm sharing
Yeah.
it with them.
So
I
who's
thought
the
I was
the
going
guys
against
on
them.
the Sea-Doo. You can pick
Oh.
Saka. He's huge. Or Skip. He
Yeah,
listens
Saka-
to the show too, and he's
Soccer and Skip would be a good choice. Although I'm probably bigger than Skip, but I'm not as big as Soccer.
Hey, you want to keep the Sea-Doo afloat. Just remember.
Yeah,
Yo,
that's
we're
true. So
Saka
that's not
getting
going to
so
work.
much heat on this
That's
show.
not going to work. I got to get a couple of young guys like you to keep me going. I wouldn't even. And Soccer and Skip, both of us couldn't do the thing in the first place. You guys know how to use it?
No. Well, we can
I'm
figure
alright
it
with
out.
the Sea-Doo.
No, it can't be us. You got to pick 2 other guys and their order.
I mean,
on the
Dave,
Sea-Doo.
if you want us on a Sea-Doo, we'd take a quick trip up to Mass. I mean, we're there.
I'm not going on the thing anyway. I need 4 wheels and I sink.
Mhm.
So what would the ideal thing be to get somebody better than you, right? Which is going to be anybody.
I would
I mean,
say.
is there an ideal answer?
I would say.
Who would you? So this is your question. Who would you have on your Sea-Doo?
Oh, it's got to be
3 dudes.
Oh, it's got to be
2 dudes.
3
you plus
dudes.
2 dudes. You plus 2 dudes.
Oh, it's got to be dudes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously, I'm gonna be like this porn star and that porn star behind me.
Absolutely.
A lot of love.
See, Dave doesn't know the porn stars, so he couldn't really answer that question.
He does. They're all dead.
So, yeah, from the 70s and shit.
Shout out to Debbie.
Debbie does Dallas.
Yeah, Debbie does Dallas. Ginger Lynn's still around.
She might be.
She's baking cakes on the Food Network.
She might
now.
be. She might be hanging on to a lot more than a Sea-Doo.
Yeah, I wonder how she held up. I don't know.
All right. So
Oh, fuck.
your legit question, which I thought was really good. I like it. I'm going to keep using it.
Okay.
We're going to keep using it. You and 2 other dudes. What position are they in? Like, are they middle or they end?
Ooh, I'm.
Let's go cigar industry.
Okay, in the cigar industry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get.
I could be on it. It's cool. I'll be on it.
I'm gonna get Mike Rosales driving.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get Oliver in the middle.
Yeah. He's small and bony.
Yeah, and I'm gonna sit on the end behind Oliver. What's up, Ollie?
Oliver's a good choice. I think I need guys that could do it. I could put Mr. Jonathan in there. That's on the Cigar Authority show. he knows how to do shit. He's athletic. I need a
There you
couple of
go.
athletic guys, so I'll go with them.
All right, who you got?
Who?
Three guys.
The whole time I'm grilling people to answer this, I never even thought about it. You know what? Mo on the front, just because I want to see that goatee going.
It's just like blowing in the
Mo
wind.
Tatuaje. The other one is Migs behind me, likes to booze, just because you hear.
Yo,
His fucking Puerto
Mo
Rican
G
laugh.
Rockin' you should
And then
fucking see to it up.
I'm the middle one, so
Oh,
I
I
want
know.
to say Mo in front of me. Somehow I placed myself in the middle.
Oh god.
I don't know if that's weird or not weird.
Yeah, you should definitely go see a therapist.
And then Migs behind me, likes to booze.
Fair enough.
Behind me.
Okay.
That's it.
That's your answer for who you getting on the C, dude.
All right, Dave.
Fourth question.
It might be the last awkward one. It might not. I don't know. This one could get really awkward. When was the last? Well, this isn't even the question. Sub question. When was the last time you pissed outside?
Probably not too long ago. Probably golfing last year.
All right.
We do a golf tournament.
So, I don't know why we actually. I don't even know why this is a question, but it's like it's not even a question. It's like an argument fact. When you piss, do you pull it all out through the little zipper hole and everything, or do you just do it all over? Like you pull it over the top?
All of it? Well,
yeah, just the shaft or all the junk?
Yeah.
No, just the penis comes out. That's it.
Just the Dave.
Yeah, the boys don't have to come out with it.
You do because you restrict.
I just had to piss outside and everything. I was
everything out over my elastic on my shorts.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like I'm kinking the hose if I don't pull it all out.
So if you're in a bar and you got to go pee, you take it all out?
Yeah,
everywhere. It's everywhere.
The urinal.
Everywhere.
Really? All right. Make sure I'm over at least 2 urinals from you.
Okay, but
it's spraying.
My argument is, if I'm walking around during my day, my boys, they're hanging out together. 3 of them, they're sitting together.
Tripod.
Yeah, when they go out for a breath of air, I can't just have
together.
Go out.
You can't choke them up.
No, it's not lockdown, and only one gets yard time.
These two shitheads need some air.
Yeah.
Is it because it isn't large enough to be on a table? Is that possible?
Dave, we don't want to get into specifics, but that could
all right. I'm just asking. Maybe it's none of my business, but you're asking me personal stuff. So,
Dave, right now at 35 years old, my nutsack hugely outweighs my wiener, and I'm only 35.
All right, because that's coming.
Hey, you need that ball.
I got to take this whole thing out.
That's why I got to start using it.
You need the ball rejuvenator.
I got to talk to you guys in 3 weeks from now when I've been using that ball rejuvenator, and I'll let you guys know the situation.
Fucking high and tight like you came out of the pool.
Yo, you ever see those truck nets that they put on trucks that they hang on their fucking trailer hitch? That's me.
This show is different than the Cigar Authority. It's different.
I knew you were going to say that, too. I had a feeling.
It was only a matter of time. It was okay. You know what? We got to get into Shooters Got to Shoot, and that's brought to you by Cigars and Guns. When you're looking for any of your Second Amendment apparel, you got to hit up Cigars and Guns. Hit them up, cigarsandguns.com. Dave,
hit them up.
When was a pinnacle? Are you making G&Ts?
No, we're out. We drank a half a bottle of gin.
All right, hit me a tea then. All right, Dave. When was a pinnacle point in your life when you shot your shot? You took a chance. You gambled. You just like, fuck it, all on this. Let it ride.
I've been doing this my whole life, so I'll give you the first one. Not necessarily the pinnacle one, but I guess the first one is the pinnacle one. I was in high school. I got a job working at a diner for school vacation, February school vacation. And I was going to graduate in May. On the third day of February school vacation, working at the diner, I saw the guy that owned it, that was there working with me, miserable bastard, hated his job. He inherited it from his mother. And I said, why the hell are you doing this every day? You show up for work. You're so miserable. Why don't you do something else? And he said, well, I own this place. And I said, well, sell it. And he said, who the hell is going to buy this? And what's it worth? And I said, it's worth 2.5 times earnings. That's how you figure out the value. Again, this is 18-year-old Dave. And I said, it's worth 2.5 times your earnings. How much do you make a week? And whatever he said, say it was $200 a week. I said, so it's worth $500 a week times 52. That's the value of the company. Would you sell it for that amount? 2.5 times You stop working here, work somewhere else, and you get
25
2.5 years to not being here. That's how you value something. And or that's what I had heard. And he said, I'd take that. And I said, and I want to buy it. And he said, are you serious? And I said, yeah. And he said, wow. So the rest of the day we're talking about it. And he said, now seriously, he says, I would do that if you want to do it. And I said, well, I have to wait till I graduate high school, which is in May. But I would take it. I would learn from you from now till then. After school, I'll come over and learn from you. And then on May, the day I graduate, it'll begin. And he said, I'll take it. And I said, well, there's one problem. And he said, what's that? I said, I don't have any money. And he said, what the fuck are you saying? Why are you saying this? I don't have any money. And I said, well, I figured out a way during the day. You're talking to me about this, how to do it. If you're going to take 2.5 times earnings and you make that much a week, 200 a week, I'm going to give you 500 a week every single week for 52 weeks. And when the 52 weeks are paid, I own it. But if I miss on week number 47, you get the whole place back. And you got all that time off, 2.5 times your money, and you walk in. So you don't have to worry about me not paying because you're going to walk back in if that happens.
Yeah.
But I won't miss. So it's going to go all the way. You can guarantee that. And he said, I'll fucking do it. And I said, okay, let's draw it up. So we came over the house after I came home, and my mother said, hey, how was everything? We worked at the diner today, school vacation. And I said, yeah, I'm going to buy the diner. And she said, yeah, right. She leaves the other room. The doorbell rings about 20 minutes later. It's the guy. And my mother's like, what the hell's going on? I said, I'm buying the diner. And I wrote up 2 copies of this contract of how the diner was going to be sold. And I said, okay, I graduate on May 7th. On May 8th, I take over. Let's begin. I want to come work for you for free after school so you can teach me what to do. And that was it. That was the beginning, my first owned company. And from there, it was just like that type of thing each time of I had no money. Let me figure out the next way of getting it, creativity, doing it. Risky as all hell each time I end up doing it. But what else am I going to do? Sit there and wait for the day I could have enough money to make the next step? I just kept rolling the dice. And I still do the same thing. It's the craziest thing that my wife says to me, you know, one of these times you're going to roll the dice, we're going to lose on this thing. And I said, well, maybe I'm at the point where I really can't lose at this point in life anyway, but what a ride.
Wow.
That's honestly,
that's an amazing
dude,
story.
That's yeah, hands down the best shooter's got to shoot ever.
Oh yeah,
like that's
for sure.
That's insane. And I mean, yeah, that's just Dave. That's crazy, man. And
it shows the type of business person you are.
Yeah, just when you're saying that to me, it's just like you look at all your success and you're just like, that's Dave.
Yeah, it's all
that's just how you even all the way down to your podcast is fucking hugely successful.
Making something from nothing is one of the greatest achievements. That's the American dream. You're making something of yourself from nothing.
And I know you guys are creative guys too. And that's part of it, coming up with the whole concept of what you do and stuff. And that's the fun of it. And then to try to make it successful at that point, to say, okay, this is the concept. What's the finish line? What do you want the finish line to look like at that point? And as luck would have it, and luck is part of it too, but hard work and luck, and the ability to stay on no matter what, just keep going no matter what. It's painful to end up doing that, and it's hard, but you end up going all the way. And a lot of the times, I'll take Two Guys Smoke Shop, for instance, exceeded my expectations. Never would I thought we would be doing the kind of numbers that we do. We are probably the biggest brick and mortar retail place in the world. And I don't say it to brag. I say it to, oh my God, this is what I accomplished. I'm proud of that. And I didn't do it alone. I did it with the help of the employees and all that went along with it. But never did I think that. I could show you the little store. If you ever come up, little store in Malden, Massachusetts that I wanted to be. You know, that was the idea. And I told the guy that owns that store, I said, this is what I wanted to be. And this is what I became. So I had all these milestones in mind to get to. And I went even further than I went to. At this point in my life, now it's actually trying to help other people because I don't need it anymore. I love it. I'm never going to stop because I actually love it. But what can I do now for the next person? That includes the next podcaster. That then includes the next retailer. That's why I wrote the book, David
David and
versus
Goliath.
Goliath.
Yeah.
So the idea is, my name happened to be David anyway, but I went for the big guy and went after him. And I wrote it not for just cigar stores. If you own a hairdressing place or you own a bakery or whatever, that's who I wrote it for, including a cigar store. Because honestly, everything that came in here, because for 35 years I've been selling cigars, everything came from the cigar store. But I wrote it in a way so anybody could understand this way of achieving something. And they're little things. The next little thing, but they end up adding up. So the next little thing you do to the rebar show gets added on to the next thing. And it becomes, before you know it, not before you know it, it takes a long time. It's 10 years, but before you know it, because as you get older, you're going to look at, 10 years is like nothing to me. That I put the Garofalo cigar, Perdomo did that for me 10 years ago. I'm like, 10 years ago, it was just yesterday. As you get older, it's a percentage of your life. That's how what 10 years is. 10 years is only 1/6 of my life. 10 years to you is half your life. But as you get older, these numbers get smaller and smaller of what it takes to end up doing that. So 3 years to build a business, you're a year and a half in. Wait till you see where you are in a year and a half more from this point. Double where you are at this point. It's going to be unbelievable.
Hey,
I'm going to love watching it.
No.
I'm going to love watching it.
Hyped. I'm stoked. I'm pumped on being stoked.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
I'm jacked up.
I'm very impressed what a grinder you are, Dave. You really get down there and you get dirty. You get your hands dirty, fully in.
Yeah.
And that's the type of people that I like to surround myself with, is 100% committed people. You're fucking in or you're not in.
And
don't be
half. Honestly, that first story is just amazing.
Like
that's another thing that happens in the cigar store also, because I grew up in a poor neighborhood. I had nothing. When I opened the cigar store at that point, now all the people that were coming in were burning at that time maybe $3 bills. Now they're $10 bills. But these guys, this was disposable income. These guys, it didn't matter to them. To me, oh my God, spending $3 on a cigar at that time or whatever, or spending $10 maybe or $20. You're looking at a $20 Atabay or something. These guys were coming in buying like that type of thing. And I got to know these guys, got friendly with them, and their energy and their success ended up going into me and looking at this guy. And
you feed off it. You feed off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
you were playing basketball with great,
you vibe off it, and it's crazy. And that's
playing basketball with Michael Jordan every day. All of a sudden, you're going to get to become a better basketball player, right? So who you surround yourself with?
People.
And you know what? I think like me and Wiseman are on me and Evan are on two different levels with the podcast, right? And he's like, I don't know, but he'll question some sponsors. He's like, but why? You know what I mean?
But I'm just
like, trust me. Like, this is we're gonna be able to get this from it. It's gonna grow us to this. And I'm a very, I guess, open. I'm not open, but I'm a very.
You a sucker.
I'm not a sucker, but it's like if I believe something, I'm gonna ride it, and that's where I shoot my shot, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ride it out as long as I can, and then I'm gonna get to a point, not necessarily with everybody, but it's like if I feel you're fucking me, I put myself in a point to where it's like, well, I know I can fuck you now, right? And that's not with everything, but that's just it's with people in life, right? It's like, well, let me see what we could do. Let me see what we can do, and then it's just me doing, and it's like, oh, you're not there, but now you're trying to ride the coattails, right? And it's just like, well, no, now it's just me. Like, I'm doing all this, right? It's
and you know something? Don't be afraid to look out. See somebody doing great stuff with an alcohol podcast, or doing something that has nothing to do with this industry, and you look at some ideas in there and you make it your own at that point. I don't say steal it from them. You make it your own. I'll see something on TV and I'll say, what if I did that with cigars? Oddball thing or something like that. And listen, people talk about my successes. Lots of failures. Lots of failures.
Right.
I can write an encyclopedia on failures.
Success is. You don't know what success is until you have failure.
But that's what
That's it.
people they
Dave,
respect the grinder. That's
and
the grinder.
That's it. We have people that have seen us from the very start, and they look at it now and they're like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Like,
I tell people not to watch my old episodes of the Cigar Authority. I'm embarrassed by it, but I say it,
it,
and they end up doing it anyway because they want
it,
to see what it
it's
was. But oh god,
oh, they get dirt on you. That's all, dude. There's people. It's shit I said a year and 2 years ago, even. I was like, a lot of the stuff. It's like 100%. I'm still going to stand by it.
yeah.
100%. I'm not going to not stand
Well,
by it.
that's what you thought at the time until you got educated too. So, if I ended up fucking up, even on an episode, it still happens every day that people write into me and say Dave was wrong, blah blah blah. And if you listen to our show, the shit we bring up is not the ones Dave, you're great, oh love your show and all that stuff. That's good, I appreciate it and stuff. But the stuff we're gonna end up reading is no friggin' way, you're out of your mind or whatever it is. So that now I get to again either correct it or explain to them what I was thinking at the time or
Exactly.
whatever.
It's not a retraction, but it's an explanation.
Yeah.
And that's, I think I've done that like maybe 2 times. Something I said on a past episode may have seemed pretty, I guess, misogynist or like just very, I don't know. Like, it's.
It's a different world now.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like the
We
more
could say whatever the hell we wanted before, and it was a very male-dominated industry, and nobody gave a shit. But nowadays, oh my God, it's very different. I have to be very careful. We're in a different world.
But that's the crazy thing, though. We'll have females on the show, and I'll talk the exact same way, and they're cool with it. But it's you say one wrong thing, not even in I guess a hurtful way or a misogynist way, and it's just like blah 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 blah. And I'm not necessarily worried about that, but I'm worried about how people think I actually mean it.
you can't run for
Yeah,
Prime Minister.
you're not saying it to be hurtful. You're saying your thought process. You don't mean it to shock and awe her and say something bad to her.
That's it.
Now, Dave, let me ask you a question. You said you did 3 years. You ran the podcast the way you wanted to run the podcast. You said what you wanted to fucking say. Do you wish that you were still at that point?
No, you know what?
Right now, where you could just say whatever you wanted to say, whenever you wanted to say it, do whatever you wanted to do, or do you like the way that your format is set
He's
up?
like, no, I got the Rebar show.
No, I wish it was. I wish I could be more end up saying it, and the people that come in and see we go to break 3 different times during the show, and the people in the audience always say, geez, the break should be part of the show. People want to hear what you just said during the break because
This
that's
is
when
the
the conversation.
Yeah, that's why we don't cut any. It's
This
just like
is the
this.
break.
Yes,
And
something's happening here that we would have went to break, and this conversation. We had a conversation before the show started, but some of that stuff is getting in here anyway. But sometimes the best of the Cigar Authority show goes in the cutting room floor. It happened during the break that we did that it was said. And then sometimes it used to be after the show was over and everybody would get up and start talking. So we started the after show. And we have a little show that airs on Wednesday, and that discussion happens on the after show. But it's already that my show is too long. It's 2 hours long. And then there's an after show that's 20 minutes after that. I'm like,
happens though. It happens.
Okay.
Dude,
yeah.
we tried the 20 minutes. We tried that an hour. We tried and it's just like, if we're gonna talk, we're gonna talk. That's it. And it's like, if you want to listen, then listen. If you only want to listen to an hour, just listen to an hour.
Speaking of, let's move on. We'll do another segment here. Get your phone out.
I don't even.
What do you want to talk about?
I always write down fucked up shit in my head. Sorry, frigged up shit in my head.
Frigged up shit.
All right.
Oh
so
man!
all these guys watch the language and hurt.
I know.
Your show and they're joking around saying this, but be yourself. That's another thing. My first episodes that are missing, I tried to be a broadcaster on my first shows, and it was Mr. Jonathan, who was the producer, that knew me already. And at the end of the show, he'd always say, just be yourself. It's going to be better if you just be yourself. And I said, I got to polish myself up a bit so I sound more professional instead of this, guy from the neighborhood, which is who I am. And I got to do it. And then finally, I had to cave in because I could not fake it anymore. I could not be myself. And what a change up. It was a pressure off me. This is who I am. If you want to know who I am, when we do meet finally, and I hope that day happens, that we're together.
100%.
This is the guy, and I'm sure that's the guy too. So that's it. And it's
So-
easier that way.
I think that we honestly come from the opposite perspective because we really appreciate a little libation in our shows. Whether that's drinking or drug use. So
it's legal.
does,
It's not even drugs. It's illegal where we are.
Okay, it's
legal where we are. It's marijuana. It's fucking weed.
Okay,
That's
but
it. Don't you make it seem like we're fucking blasting rails of cocaine? Like it's weed.
You're off that now.
But
Yeah.
we need to come from a place where we gotta hit that perfect peak, because if we're sober, it's not as good as we could be. But if we're too fucked up, it's just a nightmare.
But that's the.
But we're never trying to be something that we're not.
The rebar is just channeling what we want to do. Like we're sober, our whole mentality is the same thing as when we're, stoned, high, or we're drunk, and then it's weird.
So are you guys wasted right now? Are you wasted right now?
I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
Like
But
I'm very, and I mean I don't want this to sound like we're fucking hippies or something, but I'm just like very level right now. I'm very. Like,
he's very stoned, is what he's trying to say.
I'm not even very high. I'm just. I don't know, Dave. This is weird talking to you about it. Like, I feel like you're a fucking counselor right now, but it's like,
hey, we did a couple of shows that we drank in the show because we had Hammer and Sickle vodka guy there and drank. I have a few drinks and I'm fucking blasted. Mr. Jonathan took his clothes off one show because he drank too much on the show and everything. And people say it's the greatest shows all the time. Well, the business I was in before this, I worked in nightclubs for 12 years. As the DJ in the nightclubs, and I was the only one in the place allowed to drink. I had to make a decision at that point if I was going to become an alcoholic or I was going to end up, stick with the business and stuff. So I would just nurse a drink all night. I worked 5, 6, 7 nights a week during that time, 12 years, and a decision had to be made. And the drugs were rampant. We're talking in the 80s. So what do I want to end up doing? And I ended up going in that direction. I probably missed a lot of good parties. Probably missed a lot of good fun, but hey, I went in that direction. I don't take it away from anybody of
but you know
whatever
what?
they
At
do.
the end of the day, dude, you're now the guy that can host these parties. You're now the guy that can celebrate.
Right.
Yeah, and I can drive you home at the end of the night.
Right.
So right.
Gotta hang out with Dave.
we really enjoy having fun.
No, but
and it's the podcast. The show is us having fun.
I don't think. I guess it's the atmosphere here. It makes
your audience might be doing the same thing while they're watching the show,
right?
Too.
Right.
Your audience and they're doing it too. They're having fun with you guys too, and
absolutely.
I know the audience is just like letting loose. It's not necessarily, you don't have to do anything. I know there's sober people that fucking love this show.
You're right.
But I know there's people that it's just like, they DM me. They're like, yo, I can't smoke weed, and I'm like, dude, just crush a beer. Crush a drink, or these guys that listen to the show, they're dead sober.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, that's sick. And they're just like, oh man, you guys were hilarious last night. And I sound like a hippie now, man. But it's like the second you walk in this door, it's the energy.
It's fun is fun. It doesn't matter
when you sit down, this place is just like, it's like a speakeasy lounge where it's just like, you say about it in here, if we're not on camera, that's it. That's as far as it goes. You know what I mean? I know some of the craziest stories in the cigar world and the alcohol world, but if you say it in here, we're not on camera, that's it. That's as far as it goes. Because you come in here, whether you're just drinking espresso or you're drinking coffee or you're slamming every drink with me or we're smoking weed. It's just, if we're not, that's it. You just release it into here. And it's, that's why the table's in the middle that you're sitting on now. I guess it's just like, you say your shit into there and that's it.
All right.
Whether we're on
what happens at the rebar stays in the rebar.
That's it, man. It goes back probably like 8-9 years now, where it's just an old school way where it's
the lounge.
It's the lounge. It's like the dudes club, man. Women come in here, but they don't stay in here for long. But it's just like, I don't know, man. What happens in here just stays in here. What people talk about in here is, if you say, this don't leave here, that's it.
Now, I would definitely not say it's the dudes club and women don't stay, because there are chicks that can hang.
Oh, they'll be like 5 feet from here.
It's chicks that can hang, and there's dudes that can't hang. It's definitely no sex either way.
The amount of dudes I've walked out of here or like
stumbled out of here. Yeah.
And it's like some of these dudes, it's like you've only been here for an hour, and it's like I got to drive you home.
Okay, let's.
So this is your house?
Yes.
So I got my house. I got like a 20-foot deck or 15-foot deck, and then a couple of patio stones, and then it comes out to a 2-car garage, which is just this now. And it's
Oh.
it's a 2-car garage, fully finished. I got a bar, I got a beer fridge, I got a big TV up on the wall or on the what do we I don't know what
the
you call it.
bench.
It's like a workbench that I just covered with fucking cool shit. And yeah, a bunch of recliners and a bunch of sofas everywhere.
No skylights.
No skylights, OT.
Skylights.
I mean, the boys have been killing me for skylights in here, and
I've been telling him we need some fucking skylights.
I'm trying to raise the union dues up now, but
okay.
the dudes just want to. All right,
what do we got here?
You made me look at my phone like 6 times.
I know because you keep fucking forgetting. So
all right, Dave, let me hear your definition of a cigar bomb. Actually, sorry. So we're now doing what plugs JP's Vitola, and that's brought to you by Nickel City Cigars. When you're looking for your Tatawahe, your Roma Craft, your Crown Heads, but most importantly, your United Cigars. You got to hit up nickelcitycigars.com. Use promo code REBAR and save some of that scratch. Save some of that Skrilla. Save some of that coin. Promo code REBAR. All right.
So I saw your episode with the guy from Nickel City. New store, right?
Tommy just opened.
This was the guy, the UPS driver?
Mm-hmm.
No.
So the UPS driver is like the part owner / he does like all the computer shit for it.
Partner.
The internet shit. Yeah, partner.
Okay. And they opened up when this COVID-19 bullshit started?
They just opened.
Wow.
So they had their reopening yesterday.
Yeah, because all this time that they couldn't be open.
Yeah, it looks.
You got to take care of these guys, especially the guy just starting out like this. And holy shit, man! I'll tell you, I don't live my business. I don't live paycheck to paycheck. I built a nice war chest so that in case the shit hit the fan. Never did I think the shit was going to hit the fan for 3 fucking months. And I felt it. I felt it bad, really bad. I can't imagine the little
That's
store.
a solid fucking term.
Fucking Daddy Warbucks, Dave.
I couldn't. You got to take care of these guys, the new guys out there.
That's it.
And,
that's
come up.
We try to take care of the people that take care of us. You know what I mean? We're all on the same level. Where we're not worried about them taking care of us, but it's we know we're able to take care of them, right? Because it's not what we get from it, but it's hey, if I want this from them, we can get United Cigars from them. So let's take care of them.
Yeah, shout out to Nickel City Cigars. Support them. Support all the sponsors on the show.
Oh yeah,
they're all good people.
I'm taking a piss. Talk.
No, what's the plugs you Vitola? Fucking say it.
I asked Dave for the definition of a cigar bomb.
Okay, so that's
what's a bomb?
What is a bomb? What's a bomb to you, Dave?
Explosion. Is it strong?
Well, a cigar bomb. Are you familiar with said term?
No.
So a cigar bomb would be a surprise mail drop from a friend or a brother, sister of the leaf, dropping you some gifted cigars. Are you familiar with that?
I have heard that happens, that people do that.
So, yeah, that was a lot bigger, back in the early 2010s, 2013, 2014. People, when Instagram was really getting going, people were putting together packages, sending them to friends across the country as a surprise, lifting their spirits, showing their generosity, sharing the leaf with each other. And it was more like a brotherly, sisterly thing to do.
Okay, so the question is, me receiving it or me giving it?
So definition of, I guess, giving it.
No, so Dave wasn't really familiar with the term. Have you ever received a cigar bomb?
Not from a consumer. No, I've been given a cigar by a consumer, which I hate to ever take because I sell cigars for a living and they want to give me something that they paid for and I feel bad. But then again, by not accepting it, I feel like I'm disrespecting them. So I take it, I try to smoke it with them or say, I got one for you too, and try to up them or something like that. As far as a manufacturer ever doing it to me, when they do, it's usually trying to sell me. We purchase cigars. So that's another thing that people will talk about that I'm chilling for a company, and nothing could be further from the truth because I buy cigars. I buy from them. I'm their customer. It's not the other way around. So I'm not shilling for anybody because I write big checks to them. And if they want to advertise with us and promote with us, great. But in the meantime, I write on the front of the check, not on the back of the check. So it's a whole different mental aspect that happens there. And it's a big difference.
So let's put it in this perspective.
Hold on, I need to write that quote down. I write on the front of the check, not the back.
That's
Oh, fucking Jesus, Dave.
Boss.
All
right. So, Dave, let's say, right, we never met.
It's my new favorite quote.
We don't know each other. Let's say I'm a fucking New Englander that comes into your shop. Right, I was like, I buy a couple cigars from your shop. You come out, you're like, oh, hey, let's say you call me
Dick Face.
You call me Dick Face. They're like, oh, hey, Dick Face. How's, we shake hands. He's like, I'm Dave. And I'm like, I'm Dick Face.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's some cigars. Try them. And
I think the wise man is getting embarrassed right now. He's covering his face up a little bit.
That he's going along with the Dick Face. And,
okay, sticking with it.
If you could have said anything.
I know.
I
just
Dick Face. And I was like, we're going with Dick Face.
I've been thinking about it the whole episode.
We're going with Dick Face. Fucking penis nose. Dave, if I got a boner and I ran into a wall, what was the first thing I hit? My fucking nose. I didn't even let him answer. I'm just like, Dave, it's my nose. I got a big nose.
I didn't even let him answer.
All right.
Oh, God.
So I'm at your cigar shop, right? You're like, oh, hey, I'm Dave. And I'm like, oh, I've never heard of you, Dave Garofalo. And you're like, I'm Dick Face. And we shake hands, right? And you're just like, Dick Face, where are you from? What is that, Ukrainian?
Yeah, Face, with last name. Richard Face.
So we shake hands, and I was like, hey, Dave, try these cigars. And I hand you cigars. What is your reaction after I hand you those cigars?
I immediately feel bad because there's somebody giving me something that they paid for.
It's not from your shop, though. It's not from your shop.
Yeah, it's happened many times. Or they say, I want you to try this. Sometimes it comes with, I know the guy that makes it and he asked me to hand it to you, or I happen to love this. I want you to try it. And then I have to say, oh my God, thank you. I want to try this. Or I've already had it. No, thank you. The first thing I'm going to try to do is not, as pleasantly as I can, not accept it if I can possibly do that. If it looks like I'm going to insult you by doing, I'm going to accept it. And then I'm going to give you something that I think is better. But again, if I don't know what it is, it's going to be hard to determine what that is. We have a problem now with FDA in the United States, and that is we can't give away cigars anymore. I mean, that was a big thing of being able to swap with people and do that. My hands are tied at this point that we're not supposed to do it. And I'm a big target, by the way. The FDA comes to my store. They've been in a few times. I hear a lot of retailers tell me it's never happened to them before. I got a big friggin' mouth. I fight over the taxation and the misrepresentation of the cigar industry. I've been to D.C. so many times. I got a long history of battling against these politicians. So along with that comes notoriety, sure, but it also comes on the target, right? So
you're on their map, right? You do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got to be careful as that happens anyway. So that'd be my play if somebody ends up try to swap or try to whatever at the very least, or first not accept.
You never want to be in someone's debt.
So absolutely.
That's the grinder in you. That's the I want to do better mentality. You never want to owe someone something.
And the wonderful thing that has happened is reciprocity, that somebody does something for me and I do something more for them. And sometimes it doesn't happen all the time, but a lot of times they do something more for me. And I've built some relationships over the years with some of these manufacturers. They can't do enough for me and I can't do enough for them. And what a friggin' partnership we have. They're a manufacturer, but we help each other along the way. Now, being 35 years in the business, most of these cigar companies you talk about, I watched them get into the cigar business. I was there before they were there, and then I became a customer.
You've seen it. Majority of influence nowadays, you've seen it all.
Yeah.
100%.
And I've watched them grow. And I'm going to tell you, every single one of them earned it. There isn't a lucky one out there that he lucked into being successful. These guys are grinders too. They work very, very hard at what they do. They earned every single penny they made, as I did. So I see it and I appreciate it. Sometimes their brand doesn't work for us, and that's all there is to it. But I have all the much respect in the world for every single one of them. There's a lot of businesses out there. I promise you, most of them are easier than the cigar business. Very, very tough business. Everybody hates us. The government wants to shut us down. They hate us. You got the anti-tobacco people. There's even consumers. 1 out of 1,000 people use this product. 1 out of 1,000. That means 999 of them hate it. Hate it.
Yeah.
It's a very tough business. So they do it because they love it too. If there's anybody in the cigar business that hates the cigar business, get out of it. Because anything's easier than this. This is very, very tough. And I don't care if it's media, which is what you guys are doing. Get into a different media if you hate the cigar media, because that's the toughest one too. Yeah. Because 999 people hate it. So you could pick anything
We
that
feel
would be better than that.
You know what?
Yeah.
If we couldn't do this, what do you think we would talk about on a podcast?
Drugs.
Or dicks.
Yeah, it could be you got legalized marijuana. Way more people approve of marijuana than they do of cigars. Way more.
We just like smoking the occasional joint.
That's something that blows my fucking mind, Dave. I can go to a bar, right? So I go to a bar, me and my wife, or me and Wiseman, we have a couple of drinks.
Same thing.
Let's go outside for a cigar. Fuck, they kick us to the curb. Let's go outside for a joint. Now, so I'm allowed to walk down the sidewalk and have a fucking joint, but I smoke a cigar. It's fucked. I would take, I would take cigars over weed any day, marijuana any day, but I think that's why the sanctuary exists, because of where we are and what we could do actually in the physicalities of my property.
You have a standalone building, which is how we operate our retail stores, because I've been there. That the next door neighbor hates us, the landlord hates us. So I end up having to buy the properties that I have in standalone buildings to be left the fuck alone because they hate on us so bad. Almost everybody ends up hating it. And it's nothing new. Yeah. When I got into the cigar business, you could smoke in restaurants at the time in the 80s. And there would be signs in there, no cigar smoking. It's okay, smoke all the Marlboros you want, but no cigar smoking. To me, it was all, I've never had a cigarette, never smoked one. I hate what the odor is of a cigarette, the chemical odor that I end up smelling. I was always pushed away from it. But cigars actually is sweet to me. I love what it smells like. And the owner of the restaurant, and they can do whatever they want, and I never take that away from them. The owner of the restaurant says no cigar smoking. I hate when the government says no cigar smoking in a restaurant. The owner is a different story. That's their place, and they have every right in the world to do it, and I applaud them. Do what you want. That's for your business. But to take it away from the owner of the shop and the owner of the restaurant not allowing it, but they did it because 999 of the 1,000 customers that come in their store don't like it.
But I will say that, 999 people hate it. But that 0.1% of people, they're so passionate. Cigar smokers, if we're nothing, we're passionate.
Yeah.
100%. You're going to end up influencing.
And you make up
a fraction of those people.
We make up for that being a percentile of the world. You know what I mean? We kind of push a little bit of influence, a little bit of
it's a lifestyle, just like, hey, look at my lifestyle. Hey,
absolutely.
Look at you know what I mean? I got a couple of neighbors that they cruise my block and they just smoke cigars.
And I respect you and them more than I actually do myself, because I got a dog in the race here. I actually sell the product. I have stores and an online presence and brands, and I have all this stuff. So I do my podcast actually, hopefully to drive some business, and people come in and that's it. You do it. And I love it also, but you do it only because you love it. Mm-hmm. That's why you do it. And that's the way Cigar Coop does it too. And all the people that do these podcasts and this media and stuff, they do it only because they love it, because they're not actually in the business. So you guys are a step above us. There's no doubt about it, because it's purely for your love of there. A lot of that is for me, but also it's part of the business also for me.
I
So
think
that's the honest truth.
if you were to put us together in a
That's
huge,
fair. That's fair.
I think if you were to put us together in a huge area full of people, and all of a sudden me and him just lit up cigars, people could start going, I think we have the personalities that we could end up drawing people in.
If you had 100 people in a crowd and two of us lit up cigars, I would say at least 10 people would come up and go, "Oh, I love that smell."
I was gonna say 15 to 20. If it's not the
Yeah.
smell, but it's just our personalities towards it. I've had people that I know I work with,
Right.
like, yo, you smoke cigars, and they see how I am, they see how chill I am, and just my personality. I was like, dude, I just smoke cigars. Like I smoke cigars, I crush beers. Like that's it. Boom,
Yeah.
I invite them over, and they're always, I don't know how often you get this, but I know you get it. You got this guy that's like, well, let me come over for a cigar. And you always, even whether it's at your house or at the shop, you get this guy that's like, well, I'm here for my first cigar, and I heard Monte Cristo and Cohiba are the number one cigars. Like, and you're like, yo, just dude, trust me, try this. Here's a $6-7 cigar. Let me blow your mind.
Yeah. No,
Right?
you get it. It's absolutely the way it is. I know what some people are getting cigars for their wedding. Say they're going to have an outdoor thing.
That's another huge thing.
So that was a big thing. Last wedding I was at was probably 3 years ago, right? I was at an old Italian place up in Stony Creek. Fuck.
On the mountain?
They have two locations. No, down the mountain by the train tracks.
Oh, Leona Gardens?
Yeah, Leona Gardens. So we had the OG one. They had a cigar bar. A little bit of Nicaraguan, mostly Cubans. I was like, fuck it, whatever. I banged a couple Cubans out. But I'm sitting there on the patio, right? I'm there with my wife's family, everything. I'm sitting out there. Next thing you know, I got like 5-6 hot rods standing around me, talking to me. I got all these dudes coming up there. I got the fucking groom from the wedding talking to me. Yeah. Smoking cigars, and I was like, I'll fucking say it on the air because I don't care. Like it was a Cuban. I'm like, I'm smoking a Boulevard Tubo, and I'm like, it's an all right cigar. Like it's the best cigar I think they had there. But it's like, you're not going to catch me with that outside of here. And they're just like, really? Like you have cigars? They see me there sipping on a scotch, and it's just, you blow people's minds, I think, when they actually sit back and take that moment in and realize, like, what's this guy? I'm there leaning on a rail.
So
my wife's fucking racing out there. She's like, what are all these girls? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just sitting here smoking a cigar.
I think that
this guy knows my wife's crazy.
Paula is very nice.
I'm just joking.
It's either a magnet or it pushes them away. It's going to work one way or the other.
But cigars, in a generalized sense, I think that they are romanticized as old-timey, and people kind of really like that. They kind of gravitate towards that sort of that feeling, oh, my grandfather used to do this, or I grew up and my uncle smoked cigars and I really love that smell. And just even, you leaning on a railing, smoking a Boulevard and sipping scotch, like that's just fucking
nice fucking fitted suit though.
Okay. That's
nice. And yeah, you look good too. You look good.
Oh, I was fucking sharp, man. I had no beard, little bit of 5 o'clock shadow, nice hair slicked back to the side. I mean, I was looking sharp. Sharp.
And it really presents that romanticized image of a cigar smoker.
That's it. Nobody came over there and was like, "Oh, you got a nice suit." Everybody's
or get the fuck out of here. You can't smoke here.
But I was on the patio back when we could smoke on patios, and I mean, it's at a wedding, so you own the property for the night, right? Mm. And dude, people coming over, they're like, "What are you smoking? What are you smoking?" And it's like, the cigar smoker in me was like, "What do you? It doesn't matter what you tell these people; they probably never heard of it unless you say like the 3 major cubes."
Yeah, if you had a couple of boxes of inexpensive cigars that were there would have been 30, 40 people smoking a cigar along with you.
Right.
At that moment, to try to enjoy that moment in time and be part of what is happening at that time.
I was going to ask you, Dave, you got to be that guy. Because I know Justin and I are both that guy. When you go to a party and you break out cigars, everyone's like, "Oh, do you have a cigar? Yeah. Can I smoke? Can I have a cigar?" You know what I mean?
You have no idea. You are
the fucking guy.
So I'm the cigar guy. My license plate is cigar. Everybody knows me as the cigar guy. So I get in the car to go over to somebody's house or something, and I make sure I got a couple of boxes in the car because it's going to happen.
So it's so easy to be overwhelmed by the sense that, everyone hates us and you feel like the little guy. But the reality of it is, there's a lot of people that want to be cigar people. They just don't have the means or the knowledge to facilitate their wishes.
Everybody wants to be that guy, but their wives won't let them
Knowledge
be
is
that guy.
important because they don't want to do it wrong. They'll feel stupid if they're holding it wrong.
Nobody
They don't
wants
know
to
they
feel
gotta cut it.
stupid.
Bingo. Everybody wants to
Yeah.
be the big shot with the cigar, but nobody wants to be the big shot with the cigar that everybody's like, the fuck you smoking that for?
I
Yeah.
know.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Am I doing it right and all that stuff? So at Two Guys, every Thursday night, we do Cigar School, and it's a charity event that we do. We used to give away a box of cigars. Somebody comes to me and says, "Oh, some kid's sick or something. We have to. We need something for charity or whatever it is." And you want to be charitable and you want to do it, but 3 stores all these years and stuff. It's boxes and boxes. And I happened to be at one of the charity events while they were giving away a box of cigars. And it's Two Guys Smoke Shop, and the guy holds the box of cigars and says, "Oh, this is Two Brothers Cigar Store, number 342." And the guy grabs the box of cigars and it was there, and I go, "Well, that was a friggin' waste of $100."
Yeah,
Didn't even say the name of the store right, everything. So we
you fucking
created,
marked my name.
yeah. So we created a cigar tasting. So we give away for charity a cigar tasting for 8, and it's a slip of paper. And it says, "This is good for a cigar tasting for 8. This is the date and time. And you and 7 of your friends come there. And for 2 hours, we teach you how to light, cut, and smoke a cigar the proper way." And it's an educational piece that happens. But I sit with them and we do 2 groups of 8 every single Thursday night. And we sit with them, have a drink. We give everybody a drink. We give everybody a cigar, a little cheap cutter, a cheap lighter. And we teach them how to do it. And when all is over, they work their way back downstairs. We do it actually in the studio. They work themselves back there, and then they buy cigars before they leave. At the end of it, we don't lose money. We make money.
That's brilliant.
But
That's a
more
great move.
importantly, we have created cigar smokers because there's many people. This is my first cigar, or I did it before, but I really didn't like it. Now
Yeah.
they're doing it the right way, and they liked it. And this is what's happening on your show, the Cigar Authority show. The person that's listening maybe for the first time and wants to know something about cigars, and they get that tidbit of information, the brand you mentioned or something, they go into the store, and instead of saying that old vintage name of cigars that everybody knows, maybe they'll say something you said, better cigar, let me give that a try. And the next new cigar smoker is born.
you
Because
now, I
cigar
guess
smokers
you
are
are
dying too, right?
a cigar smoker. You know what, Dave? You said the word brand, and I caught it. It was like 20 words ago. You said the word brand. When you're looking to brand yourself, you know what you got to use? You got to use Cigarzona. You got to hit them up
Here
on
we go.
Instagram or hit up their website, cigarzona.com. Use promo code #Rebar. Brand yourself as a person. Brand yourself as a company. Brand yourself as anything you want to brand yourself. Anything they have, ashtrays, coasters.
They do Two Guys Smoke Shops ashtrays.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yo.
in Arizona.
You got to use.
They got a new ashtray coming out. It's not out yet,
Sorry,
but I don't know if you saw it. If Oliver showed you the new ashtray that comes apart. Can he
Yes,
show you?
the 2-piece.
Yeah, wait till that comes out. I can't
It's
wait.
gorgeous.
That's
gorgeous.
awesome.
Like
They
seriously
got
gorgeous.
stuff coming.
And I mean, you're telling this. So this guy's an ashtray maker, cigar rest maker.
Really? Of what kind of wood?
Yeah.
You name it, you can make it out of wood. Like most exotic woods. Sorry, you know what? We gotta break this up.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cigarzona.com.
Yes.
Dave, we'll touch back on this. Just got a little awkward right now. It's like girlfriend meets ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Listen.
Really awkward.
That's perfect. That's a perfect
Really?
example.
Super awkward. Super awkward. Like one night stand awkward.
Listen,
where it's like,
I respect everything that these guys do. They make great products. They're excellent at branding stuff.
this is coming from a woodsman.
And you know what? The
A
quality.
woodsman Wiseman.
No, and I will say the quality of ashtray is fucking. It's a solid.
Dude, how long have we been using these coasters and ashtrays for?
This thing is solid as fuck. It's great. And they're really good at
Let me ask you, how does it not burn where it's made of wood and people are putting their lit cigars in there and it doesn't burn?
I think people they don't really appreciate how resilient wood can be.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
What the enamel you put on it
Yeah.
is relentless.
They put a really it looks like a heavy milk paint with a urethane finish, so
So-
it doesn't burn through. It's really good.
One of the big things, right, when I guess before this even started, right? And I was really good friends with Oliver, but then he let me meet Guille,
Yem,
right?
Yem.
Guille from
Yeah.
Cigarzona. So
Yeah.
they presented me with probably almost a 2-foot wide ashtray. It's like
It looks like a fucking garbage
2
can
feet
lid.
around. It's a garbage can lid, right? Ashtray with United Cigars engraved around on it and my logo in the center. First day we had it, we probably had 40 cigars in it. It rained overnight. I dumped it the next morning. We then put another 40 to 60 cigars in it. Same as the next day. Dude, I dumped this thing in the garbage can each morning.
It looks
Emptied
brand
it
new.
out, wiped it off. This thing's flawless. Flawless.
Yeah,
That's what we have in our lounges in the store. And people do it every single day. We empty the ashtrays actually every hour. We have something on the computer that tells us time to empty the ashtrays. So you keep the store clean, you forget about it. But we keep doing it. We can't, so it's thousands and thousands of cigars in a cigar shop, right? Every single day. And I'm like, why isn't this burning? Why isn't this happening? And I actually don't have one in my office because I said, I'm going to put, I get a phone call. I put the cigar in the ashtray. I'm going to freaking burn the ashtray. But here it is down there and it never happened. So I think it can make its way into my office, which is a step. It's good.
Dave, I gotta ask you a quick question.
All right.
If you were to have to pick a number between 67 and 73, what number would you pick?
67 and 73. What do you want me to say, but I'll say 70.
70?
70.
God
One
damn.
I mean,
off. I was
you know what?
close.
You know
I
what
was
though?
close, right?
You know what
He
though?
won't give it to
no,
you.
but you know what though? So I pick numbers which you can get with HumaSmart in any range between those. What I name, right?
You can get 52 too.
The big, well, yeah, I guess, yeah, you can, but whatever.
Sorry.
All right, the big dogs at the rebar. We're big guys. We're big guys. We're big guys of the number 69, and we prefer 69, not just in our lifestyle,
Yeah, I knew you did.
but it's not even with our lifestyle. It's just what we keep our cigars at. We're big fans of the 69.
Love it.
When it comes to the 69, you gotta hit up HumaSmart. Hit them up. HumaSmart.com. Use promo code REBAR. Take care of yourself the easiest way possible.
So what is that? Do I know that product?
You should know HumaSmart.
Show it to him. Show it to him.
Hold it up close.
That's not close, you lazy fuck.
Oh, fuck.
No, I don't know it.
You gotta hit him up.
You got to know it, Dave.
All right, listen,
Well,
that's a big one.
Hey, if you want, I can let my contacts contact your contacts.
Let your people talk to my people.
That's
it.
Yeah.
And I mean, if your people talk to my people, use promo code REBAR.
Yeah.
Use
We'll
promo
save you some
Rebar.
use
Dave,
promo
we'll save you
code
some fucking
REBAR.
scratch. Trust us. All right, that was a big thing. It's just
Is it that same big percent that you mentioned earlier? I
Mm.
like that percent.
It was
69. I mean,
it was
it's
a good
fucking
no
great.
the 20 percentage.
What's the
Yeah.
Dave likes 20%.
20%. Oh, hell.
Dave,
That was happening.
I honestly, I can't remember right now what that percent gets you, but trust us, if two guys wants HumaSmart, you're gonna get the 20% off percentage. Trust us. Trust us. Yo, I'll message those dudes right now and I'll tell them, like, yo, we got fucking Dave on the phone. This guy wants this. We're gonna get this. That's it.
So that seemed very thick. Is that a gel pack?
So this is made for like a big. So that's the crazy thing, man. With their stuff, you get. I got a little indicator in the back, right? It's like a little 1-inch by 2-inch card. It's red now because it's good. When it goes bad, it goes blue. That's it.
It's the other way.
It's so
Easy.
simple. No, it's red now.
Oh, it's
When it's
pink
blue,
and then
it's
it goes
bad.
blue?
Yeah,
Oh.
blue
okay.
bad.
Blue bad?
See, that's so for idiots like us. When this bad, it go blue. Blue bad.
Blue bad. Okay.
That's it. Blue bad. That's the greatest part. Honestly, I only use that on all my cigars. Everything I have, this has been lasting like honestly 5 months right now.
Hey, you could tell this is a long episode because I'm halfway into my second cigar.
Shout out to Brian.
I am. I'm on the second one too, but I got a whole bunch over here, so I'm gonna go as long as you want.
Dave!
Well, I mean, should we do a marathon episode?
Holy fuck, Dave. We're going for a charity episode here, 24 hours.
I could light up
Oh, God.
right after this. Okay.
We always talked about it on the Cigar Authority and never did it because when one guy feels good about it, The other guy says, no way, it doesn't. And then all of a sudden that guy comes up with it and says, we should do it. And then it'll be me. And I'll be like, what are you, crazy? We're not doing that.
That's it. That's it. All right. You know what? We can get to the last segment right now. Not
All
that
right.
we're ending soon, but we can get into the last segment. And that's Touching Tips. And that's brought to you, it's Touching Tips with JP and Wiseman. Us touching tips, our ideas colliding. Now it's going to be our ideas. Mine and Wiseman's ideas colliding with Dave's ideas. Just
I'm glad it's that.
a tripod.
I'm glad it was that.
Yeah, big tripod.
It's a big tripod of ideas, right? So that's Touching Tips,
Okay.
and that's brought to you by Sir Louis Cigars. When you're looking to swing that big boutique dick around, you got to hit up Sir Louis Cigars. Hit him up on IG at Sir Louis Cigars. Mention the Rebar Show. And ain't going to do nothing. Well, Hunter's a great guy.
Yeah, mask guy.
Yeah, mask guy. He's another fucking mask guy.
Really?
All right. Yeah, Sir Louis Cigars. Okay. I'll tell you his address after the show because I can't really find it right now, but it's in my phone. All right. So touching tips. Dave, do you have any advice or a tip? What's your thoughts? I guess, where do you think the cigar industry is headed right now? What's your tip on that? Good, bad? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, because of this COVID-19 thing that happened, we're going to see a shortage in cigars. Factories shut down. We're not seeing it right now so much because they got everything out they could possibly get out while this thing was early on. In the meantime, we're talking about 3 months the factories closed. They came back at 25%. Some are still closed, or they started opening and then they closed again. Also, it's happened in the tobacco fields that they didn't get their rotation, that planting didn't happen, or it happened late. It may be a bad planting because of that.
Right.
So 3 years down the road, we're going to see a problem with tobacco leaves. And maybe 3 months from now, we're going to start seeing a shortage of cigars. By the way, at the same time, consumption is up because people have been home and they've been smoking more. So consumption is up and the product coming in is less. So supply and demand, right? What happens when supply and demand happens? Here's a business lesson for you. Prices go up.
Right.
Yep.
The same time, especially in the United States with the taxation that happens, I don't have to tell you guys in Canada about taxation that happens. The states aren't making their money, their income taxes and everything that less money's coming in, sales tax, everything that went online that didn't go into the states. The states are bleeding out. So they're going to probably end up hitting low-hanging fruit, which is cigars all the time. Tobacco taxes go up. The price of the product goes up. The imports to become less. There's user fees that happen in the United States when cigars come in. And at the end of the year, they calculate it. And these guys got to make back the user fee number is the number it is, no matter what. So if they're paying right now 40 cents for the cigar to come in, tax, and the user fee number, the 40 cents they figured is what they need for it to do it, it didn't quite make it. At the end of the year, they say you need 10 cents more for every cigar that already came in during the year to make that number back up. All of a sudden, they get a big number that happens. So, I can't guarantee that this is the way that's going to happen, but I have to make educated guesses myself. Prices are going to go up in January on everything.
Wow.
Therefore, a retailer should buy heavy right now. The price is going to go up. Buy low, sell high, right? That's what you should be doing. That's what I'll be doing. I don't know this is going to happen. You're asking me what I think. That's what I think is going to happen. Consumer, you that's listening, stock up because you buy low too. Because if the cigar goes up $1.50 per cigar, it's going to matter to you too. So,
you're buying a lot less then.
Yeah, or buy less, or buy cheaper.
You're a doomsday theorist, Dave.
But I like it though, dude. I dig it with the way the economy's going and just the world right now.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense.
You're gonna be fucked in a year from now.
The fact that you touched on, the big thing is
this your tip?
No, is people planting cigars. Or sorry, not planting cigars, planting tobacco leaves.
Oh yeah.
Planting tobacco leaves. Like the leaf shortage that's gonna come, or the byproduct.
It was already bad. It was already bad in Connecticut. Probably hard to get because the backwoods people were buying it all up and everything. They didn't get the planting. It didn't happen. It's bad to begin with. They just missed the whole cycle.
Wow.
So what the hell is going to happen to that 3 years from now? It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
3 years from now is going to be bad.
Then
But they're going
it's
to
the big
be smart, indicate that. They're going to bump it up now. They're going to bump it up 2 years from now to know that they're not going to have it for 3 years.
So
do you have a tip?
no,
No tip at all.
no tip.
You know what? Here's my tip. They came across very aggressive. Very
Holy
aggressive.
fuck, did it ever?
That was a very aggressive tip.
All right.
You
Let's
don't
hear
need
it.
Buy. You
I'm
know,
preaching,
buy
sir.
or sell. What do you do? Buy.
Hey.
Wonka.
Buy now.
Buy.
That's it. You know what? What better time than now?
Yeah.
That's it. You know what? You can't take anything with you. Get it now. Buy it now. Everybody's still young. Everybody's young. You're young. I'm young. Dave's young. Everybody's young. Everybody listening to this. There could be people older than me, younger than me. You know what? You ain't gonna take this with you. And in the end result is it's just gonna be more money.
Mm-hmm.
Why not get something when it's affordable for your lifestyle?
Fuck.
That's my tip. Get it. Buy it
There
now.
you go.
And you know what? Use promo code REBAR. Help yourself out.
I got a tip.
You got it. Evan's got a tip now all of a sudden.
Fuck
This
it.
this guy's now just finally getting an erection when we're in this threesome.
Man, I got a
It's
tip.
awkward now.
I got a tip, and it's coming in hard. Fucking buy Atabay.
All right.
Ah.
All right.
Nice.
Yes.
He was against it, turned him around, and that's big.
I don't
That's
know.
a big
I
investment.
was never against it,
I
Dave.
think he was against it from all the shit talking to him.
I was against the people that wanted me to smoke it.
We used to have all these. We had, and they're still out there. We have all these memes where it's like Evan will never smoke an Atabay ever. It's like, when's Evan going to smoke an Atabay? And all this shit talking. And people were like chiming in on this guy, be like, "Listen, you cheap motherfucker, buy Atabay and this and that." And he like texts me. He's like, "Dude, I'll buy Atabays. Like I have no issue with it." But it was the hype to it. And I literally I told guys, I was like, "Yo, just like chill out. Like, dude, this."
And you know something?
Very
You think guys cleaning up, people looking at that, the guy selling the cigars for $20, $30. Oh my God, he's getting rich and stuff. This guy got a long way to go to break even. He's not even close. I know the guy. He loves it. He's planning a future for his family and everything that he's doing. He's a small guy, but he is not killing it by any means. It takes 10 years to be an overnight sensation in this business. 10 years. He ain't there yet. So, in talking to him that he's like, Dave, my God, this is getting really tough and all this stuff. Rafael Nadal, he'll tell you the story. This is aging room.
Yeah.
That he was ready to shut it down. He came in to see me. He was like 8.5 years into it. And he was having even problems with his wife. Do I dare say this and stuff? That wanted him, give it up. Let's stop this thing and stuff. And he was going along. And I said, "Ooh, Rafael, you're so close." I said, in a year and a half from now, you're going to be the overnight sensation in the cigar business.
Dude,
because
number
this is
one
the way.
in cigar aficionado.
Number one. He became number two, actually. It was a Cuban cigar was number one, and then he was number two. That was then. Now he's number one.
Yeah.
So he was the number one in the free world, we called it, because we can't have Cuban cigars in the U.S.
That's
it. Free world.
That's it, 100%.
And we have the conversation all the time, and he said, I remember sitting in your office. He said it was almost to the day. It was almost 10 years to the day.
I think that's
so long to build.
Such an amazing thing to think about,
Hell yeah.
10. No, just the fact that you say, and it's very
That's
true,
why you're an OG.
10 years to be it takes 10 years of grinding to other people go,
but
where the fuck did this guy come from?
But at the same time, though, so I've been now 12, 13 years at my company. Dude, I'm almost at the very top. Right?
We go, right.
That's, you look at it now, you're what? You're in a bid in your company?
Yeah, but I'm not committed to that. So
no, but it's not even that though. But you put your 10 years
different.
into that, right? And then you look at it to where you're at over. You put.
I'm thinking it's brand building.
10 plus years with any company, you're gonna look at something and be like, how many people were retired as you were growing up? And then you all of a sudden, and they're just like, dude, who else is here that was here when you started?
Right.
I absolutely
right. It's slow. It's a long road. But it's an interesting road. It's a learning road for sure. It's a lot of fun learning as you go on. Oh my God, if I knew then what I know now,
right.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Actually, you know what? I got a tip.
Yeah.
I got a tip. So here's my tip. Brought to you by Sir Louis Cigars. You know what? Life, I guess, is a huge wave. And you know what? Just ride it. Because in the end, you're going to be riding that good wave.
That's it.
If you're smart about things and you're riding that wave, if you're smart about it, dude, you're gonna be riding the good wave in the end. You know what I mean? Some people will just get on something.
You're
They're like
heavy.
iffy, and then they just bail, right? And then they look at it, 5 years down the road, and they're like, "Fuck, I could have been setting up on that. I could have had this money. I could have been doing this. I could have been doing this." And now, all of a sudden, you're the I could have guy.
Yeah.
Let me add to this one thing. COVID-19 that happened, as terrible as that was, I said to myself, what is the opportunity here as COVID-19 was going on? As far as podcasting go, I guarantee you your listenership was the highest ever that you ever had during
100%.
COVID-19.
100%.
So it happened to the Cigar Authority that was already very high. And we grew after 10 years. We had that kind of growth. It was amazing that it happened. But the other podcasters that were in our podcast studio, we had 20 podcast shows. 12 of them quit. We never closed it down because they're media. They're allowed to go. You kept going. The ones that kept going in ours ended up going higher than they ever imagined as fast as it happened. And the ones that quit. And the majority of people are going to quit. That's all there is to it. And you're going to see who's who at that point, that the cream rises to the top at that point. It flushed out a whole bunch of people and the cream rose. Here you go. Absolutely true.
Little flex.
And
Little flex.
everything, I don't care what it is. It's what you're doing. It was that Two Guy Smoke Shop stayed open, curbside service, how awful that was. And I was back to holding signs in front of the store. Yes, we are open. I'm standing there. After 35 friggin' years, here I am standing out there with a sign with cars driving by saying, yes, we are open, because they thought we weren't. So
Right.
I didn't even ask the guys that work for me. I said, I'll stand out there and do it. And stood out there, and I'm not too good to do that. Let me go out there and do it.
So that's where I am now, I guess, in my position as a boss. Anything I'm going to ask you to do, I will fucking do. I'm never too good to do anything I'm going to ask you to do. And that's the big thing. It's you gotta put yourself in a position in life, and you gotta have the mentality where it's like, if I'm gonna ask you to do it, if you don't do it, I'm fucking doing it.
Lead by example.
That's it. You know how many grievances with the union they put in on me? And I meet with all the big union dogs, right? And they're just like, well, you're not wrong. And I was like, well, it ends here then. Like it ends fucking here. I'm doing my fucking job to make sure the job gets done. Regardless of what it takes, I'm doing it. And people are like, oh, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Well, I'll do it then. So then they grieve it. And the guy comes and they're like, well, you did your job. The job.
Yeah. And you'll watch the next guy step up because he'll see that you're doing it. And the next guy steps up, and that guy is the next shining star. He's the one that's going to come in. You're going to see who's who. I had a girl, Jessica, working for me. She was pregnant through this whole thing. She's had the baby since, but she worked pregnant through COVID-19. And she worked on Friday. I talked to her at 5:00, and I said, oh, you're still there? And she says, I'm leaving in an hour. I said, how you feeling? Everything's good. She worked in mail order away from the smoke, but she worked every single day during this thing. And she left at 6:00. At 10:00, she had the baby. She put an 8-hour day in on the day she had her first baby.
Wow.
Talk about dedication and hard work of what it is. And I hope I was a little part of that turned her there, because she was a young girl when she started with me, and here she was doing that. I'm so proud of her, of what she did, and I know her parents are proud of her too, because she really stepped it up at that point. And I told everybody to work for me, listen, if you're nervous of this, I'm going to pay you anyway. Stay home if you're nervous of it. But they saw me out there, and I would put myself on social media doing it and all this. And two of them that left a week or so later, they came back anyway. They didn't have to come back or something, but we kept it clean and everything was as best as we could do. And at the end of it, I just wanted to hopefully get enough money to make payroll and things like that would end up happening. But for whatever, we got through it, and we're balls to the wall now. Business has never been better, and it goes to the next thing. What people were calling me up saying, Dave, what do we do here? What's the move at this point? And I said, hey, I'm with you this time. There is no history. This never happened before. I have no idea what to do. I just know doing nothing is not the answer. So I'm going to be trying all kinds of different shit. We were giving away toilet paper with every order. We were doing anything we could possibly do to get a sale that ended up happening. Our customers stepped up, our employees stepped up, and our business is growth from there. Our podcast grew. We showed up every single time too. it's a bad thing happens, it becomes an opportunity too. All these
That's
people
it.
look at bad things and they roll over, but it's opportunity at the same time.
Nothing is a bad thing if you could see opportunity.
Mm.
Whether it's good or bad, a bad opportunity could come up. You got to see the good in the opportunity, right?
Yeah,
And it's
there's
our
something there.
podcast numbers rise a lot during this, but
And
now
who
after
can we?
the majority of this is over, they're astronomical.
Yeah, yeah. If you did a good job doing this podcast, and these people are going to stay on with you, they got to discover you because they had the opportunity to discover you
Right.
because they had so much downtime to do it.
You have
So
to
here
look
they
at
are.
this in a
Welcome.
positive way.
Oh, it's yeah. Sorry, I interrupted your tip. You had a tip.
No, I don't. No, it's no tip. I'm just saying you do have to look. Dave's right. You're right. You have to look at it in a positive way. You have to
100%.
see the upside.
It's no matter what you're in. How can I benefit from this?
Because if
no
you're
matter
looking at it down, you're never going to
no
go
matter
anywhere.
what situation it is in the world, 100%, somebody's benefiting from it.
Right.
You got to put yourself in that situation. Well, how can I benefit from this? How can I better myself from this? Why is all this going like this? Well, how can I go like this?
Well, and also, how can you better the community? We're giving entertainment. Dave is selling cigars.
Giving entertainment as well, right?
And has the entertainment through the podcast, and helping the community, stuff like that. It's a really admirable thing, right?
You're not progressing unless you're moving forward. That's constantly have to be just, well, how every situation you're in, you just go like, well, what can I do here? What can I do here? You know what I mean? No, regardless of what it is,
right?
Like a sponsor could drop us, and it's like, okay, they dropped us. Why? Well, let's do.
Let's move forward.
You just got to progress and move.
Let's fix that so that doesn't happen again. Whatever it is, something I want to bring up to your show that I love about it is the segmentation that happens. It's now time for this segment, that segment, this segment that happens all the time. And
you got to bring up a segment now. Bring up a segment.
I got something if Dave is willing to answer. Now, this is a question you ask a lot, and Dave has the experience to answer it. What would you tell 20-year-old Dave Garofalo?
I forgot about that segment.
Oh, wow.
Just one piece of advice. What would you tell him?
We're going back 40 years, 5 years out of the industry.
Yeah, buy the property. I rented for a long time in different places. And, you ever heard the expression location, location, location? The success of one big part of the success of the business is we have a 40% tax in Massachusetts. We are the state next to Massachusetts at 0% tax over there. So I started in Boston. I had 3 stores that were there. I had lots of problems with the landlords, and I had lots of problems with the other tenants that were next door to us in strips and things like that most cigar stores end up having. And by the time I bought my first building, it was $1 million to buy the building. And 25-year-old Dave could have bought that building for $100,000, but $100,000 was a lot of money, and I didn't do it. And I'd rather rent. The best thing was buying the building, and then there was the second building, and I still rent the third building because the guy won't sell it to me. But it ended up being shitty locations at the beginning, and then I got into good locations. What a difference. It was a light switch because it's very expensive to let the people know how to find you. It's very, very expensive advertising, right? And we advertise on radio and TV and newspapers, magazines, everything we did to try to say, this is where we are. We ended up opening in Salem, New Hampshire, unbelievable location. The signage alone was like, holy shit, there's a big giant cigar store here. And also going big. We started at 500 square feet. We have 8,000 square foot now, the store in Salem.
Wow.
So, bigger is better. It says a lot. It says this is the place to go. You walk into our humidor. We have 2 million cigars that are on hand. I mean, you look into it, people look and say, oh, I'm supposed to buy a box of cigars here?
What?
I go, yeah.
That's fucking astronomical.
You have
we're
2 million
big.
cigars?
2 million cigars on hand.
But it's where you came from made you to what you are now.
It is. But
holy shit.
I also didn't know that. I could have borrowed money. I could have, which I did. I mean, I borrowed a lot of money and talked to my wife each time she has to sign the paperwork too. Hey, let's roll the dice. And as we borrowed money, which sounds like a terrible thing, borrowing money, I don't say put it on credit card. Go to the bank, learn a relationship, build a relationship with them. Once you pay your loan off, they're willing to give you more money next time. And once they did it and you paid that off, they're willing to give you more money. For you to walk in the first time and say, give me $1 million. Oh no. The first time was $20,000 and then it was this and this. But I waited way too long. I lived with what I had. I said, I
Yeah.
can't borrow money. And I wasted a good 10 years where I should have been doing what I do now. And I'm not going to say who the manufacturer is, but there's a big manufacturer out there. It came to me maybe about 10 years or so ago and said, Dave, do you ever borrow money? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he says, I wait till I have enough money to add to the factory. I have to wait until I do this. I have to wait till I do that. And I said, oh, no, absolutely. Borrow the money at a few percent. What are you going to pay? 4 or 5% interest on there. You build a factory. By building it, you think you're going to make 5%. He goes, we're going to make a lot more than 5%. I said, why wouldn't you give the bank 5% to make 20%? You're up 15% if you do that. So why would you not do that? You're right. The guy did do it, and he's huge right now. If you think of a talk, off the air or something, because it's not everybody's business. I shouldn't even be saying, and I'm not. That's why I'm not saying it, not to hold it from you, the listener, but it's their business, and that's why I don't want to say it. If it was mine, I'd tell you. But that's something they're smarter than me. But this was what
It's not,
20-year-old Dave didn't know, and
you know
30-year-old
what?
Dave did.
They're not smarter than you. It's just you took a longer road to get there. And that's it. If you're able to show somebody the shorter road, 100%, why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Dude,
absolutely.
I talked about this shit on the last podcast, man. Dude, I had stupid upbringing. Dude, I hit, 17, 18, 19. I was a fucking idiot, man. I just went out, did my own shit, right? Dude, I thought my old man was my biggest enemy growing up.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking back at it, you know what I mean? When I was 26, 25, when I bought my first house, right? And
Good.
now all of a sudden, my old man sees me. He's like, "Oh, you got priorities. Now you got responsibilities."
Good.
Then we became best friends. Now me and my old man got a couple investment properties, a couple rentals.
Nice.
And he's looking at it. And he's like, "Hey, this year for taxes, we're doing this. What do you have anything to put in?" I'm like, "Yeah, here's this, here's that," and I don't know. It's fucking weird.
Grow yourself for the future.
You can vouch for this. As my lifestyle has changed, I've never changed where I guess I found myself. And that's my hardest problem right now. My wife is like, hey, let's go look at this house. Let's buy a new house. Let's go. And I was like, no, I'm like, this is where she probably, like, she loves me to death, but she probably hates me for this. I was like, no, I'm like, I'll rent this place out and have the place we're in right now before I sell it. Like, I'll sell it, but I will still be sitting in here.
I'm very blessed with my employees too. I try to make everybody successful. And, you think about somebody that works at a cigar store, how much can they possibly get paid and what can they do? But at least I can help them. And I'm honored to say, Ed Santa Maria, who works for me, he's been with me for 25 years.
Wow.
His mother was an employee before me, and now his son just came to work for us. So
that's
3 generations of people working in a cigar store. He's got married since he's been there. He owns a house. He has 2 children. Jessica just had a baby. Families have been built within a cigar store. How can that possibly happen? Because it's a low-paying job, but let's figure out ways for you to be able to buy a house, and let's figure a way to live your life and be happy at the same time. And not necessarily the same hand that you help is the one that comes back to you, but it's another hand. I do believe in this. Something else, somebody else helps me along the way.
That's
somebody different. I believe in that karma thing. You do something for somebody, and that's why I'm so open of, let me write a book and tell my competitors the tricks to success. And some people would call me up and say, you put all your tricks here down for all your competitors, even my local competitors, and we're all friends with each other, and we meet all the time over legislation and stuff. And why do you end up helping your competitors? I said, then somebody helps me along the way. Maybe it's them, maybe it's not them, but I believe in that karma thing. Good becomes good, of whatever it is. And it's me anyway. I want to be good. So I do it.
if you're a good person, good things are going to happen to you.
Yeah,
No, you
I
said
believe it.
it was something one day over like, hey, we got this, and you're like, well, I haven't done anything. You know, a couple payments you've gotten from the rebar show, you're like, well, I haven't really done anything, and I was like, it's like, dude, dude, just take it.
Yeah.
Like I get it. What am I going to do with all of it? What can I do when I share it?
Okay, sure,
Right?
Daddy.
Well, no. The big thing was one day, Wiseman comes home to his wife, and she's like, "What? What's all that stuff?" And he's like, "What's from the show?" And she's like, "You seriously get stuff from going like?" She's looking at it like we're just a couple of idiots sitting here. I mean,
Yeah.
100% we are, but she's like, "Oh wow, you actually get shit from the show. Like
Yeah.
your show is actually it's something.
It's
like
profitable in a sense.
100%,
Yeah.
100%."
And she supports you in this, that you do this, taking
Obviously,
time away from the family.
I think that you shouldn't be with anyone that doesn't support your
Right.
loves
Because
and your dreams.
I guess it's not a
in
passion. It's just
in my I don't hear him. I don't know if he's talking.
it's tough to word this.
Okay, he's saying it's not a passion. It's not a hobby. It's we threw the
It's
word.
a belief.
Yeah.
I think it's a belief. It's not a passion. It's just truly what I believe.
Okay. So he's real Al Jacksoning it up right now, and
Al Jackson.
Al Jackson.
No, I just truly think like.
Well, I dedicated the book I wrote, and I wrote it and gave it to my family for Christmas. That's what I gave them, is the book I wrote. And the dedication was to my wife and my daughter and my mother, and thank them for never taking my dream away from me, never pushing me back from wanting to go to work. I'm a workaholic, and they never stopped me from being that. And they let me keep going. And it wasn't the phone call of, oh, it's 5 o'clock, you're not home yet. Dinner's on the table or something. Sometimes it would be 8 o'clock, and I'd text her and say, oh, obviously I'm going to be late, because somebody came to town and I had the opportunity to sit with them and get some information and learn something to do it. And everything was okay because they never held me back. And it's so important that was part of my success too, that they didn't end up stopping me, because
Right.
I know I hear it from customers that are in there. Oh my God, my wife just called. I got to go or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's it. I feel bad for them because they're not on board with them. A team,
Yeah.
you're married to somebody, they got to be a teammate, right?
Absolutely.
And we're both trying to get to the same end result that ends up happening there. So another blessing that I ended up getting, that I was lucky from. I'm not the father of the year because I'm a workaholic, but I provide for my daughter the best I can. And
She's IT savvy.
yeah. She got me on this show. You know that, right? And that's a big part of it. Also, that find the right partner, and it could be a business partner, and it certainly can be a life partner that has to be pushing that boulder up the hill with you instead of pushing down on the other side. While
Yeah.
you're trying to push it up, making it very hard.
Hey,
Let me put it this way. It's very fucking simple. You provided yourself a life, a career, a future in a way that somehow you're able to help us. And I mean, if you're helping us out, you got to be doing all right.
the lowest
That's
form.
what, and I can help more now that I am successful. When I wasn't
And that's
successful, I wasn't helping so much because I was barely trying to get myself. When I was able to help, that's when I really turn it on because I'm able to. So
What
I
good
hate
is
the people that
success?
grudge people, of their success.
Oh.
Don't grudge me for my success. My success was built so that I can be a better person to everybody else at the same time.
You have success because other people succeeded with you, and that's what gives you more success. You help that circle succeed, you get more success. And I mean, dude,
What is the point?
Dave is like,
Yeah.
It's tough to describe you because you're a fucking cigar god, dude. My dude Victor was like, yeah, I fucking idolize Dave. Like he's a mentor. He's like, I fucking love his book.
But what my point is,
And,
what good
it's
is
crazy?
What good is success if you can't share it with your family and your friends?
And that's
Right.
man, dude. Everybody's like, you're on a wave, and you're like, yo, grab your surfboard, come on.
Nobody
your
wants
surfboard,
to
come
be
on.
lonely at the top of the mountain.
Right. But the unfortunate thing is there are people that turn negative on it. I don't know if it's jealousy, which is a very, very dark, terrible thing. You don't ever want to be the envious and begrudge somebody's success or something.
Right.
Embrace it and be good. I always was. I always wanted to make it big too, but I idolized the people that did better than me and watched and learned from them, and don't hate on them because they're successful. Because as I said to you, everybody in the cigar industry, every single one, I have never found the lucky one yet. They all work very, very hard to get where they are. Every single one of them, and they deserve what they end up getting. And I've learned from them. And if I'm helping somebody else learn from me, great. Listen to people that you respect and idolize and think it's good. And if I'm one of them, geez, I'm honored to do it. I only sell cigars for a living. I'm not a brain surgeon or I don't save people's lives. I sell cigars. There's people out there, real heroes that do stuff. I'm not one of them. But I respect a business person that has been successful, and I learn from them. And for you hear all this 1% of bullshit and stuff, and this guy's rich and whatever. Respect that guy, idolize him, see what he did. Why is he successful?
Is he rich?
Yeah.
What makes him the way he is?
If he hit the lottery and then you're jealous of him because he won the lottery, that's a different story and stuff. I don't play the lottery. I buy cigars, so that's gambling. That's a big gamble. Being in the cigar business is the biggest gamble. It's not from a lottery ticket by any means. I got into my early Dave at 18 years old, opening a business with zero, right? So all these little things that came along the way, and hopefully my daughter has learned from it, and your daughter, anybody's child has been learning from it, including my employees. I want my employees, if they want to go open another cigar store, how can I help you? I've had employees that are now reps for cigar companies, and they said, I got an opportunity. A job came up for the cigar company. I'd like to work for them. And I said, you sure? And they said, yes, I would. And I said, let me make a call for you. And 20 minutes later, they became the rep because I went up there and I said, this is the guy for you. Please do me a favor. He's the one. You won't be sorry. And oh my God, he's the best employee I ever had. Well, he's been trained. He's been trained by me. And I would not bring forward, obviously, somebody that wasn't aces to you, but I can't pay him what you could. So he's willing to do it. Go ahead.
I mean, this is a crazy fucking episode. Like we're here with the best of the best of the best. And Dave, you are where you are because of who you are. It sounds like I'm drunk and stoned, but it's I am, but it's I don't.
On cigar number 3, I lit up Byron. Did you ever do that yet?
Byron.
I've had, yeah.
A little heavier, but it's my last cigar of the night. If this goes much longer than this one, I'm tapping out.
Well, I got to go to work. So,
ladies and gentlemen, we gotta thank Dave Garofalo for coming on the show. We gotta thank him for every.
Thank you.
This guy is
having
a huge part of history of the cigars, the huge part of history of a lot of the great cigars we smoke. And Dave, thank you for your time. It's
thanks for the tidbits. Thanks for the advice.
Dude, it's the tips,
the wisdom.
Yeah, man. It's been it's crazy. It's crazy to hear. I guess we've been trying to do the same sort of thing you've been doing, but not even coming close. But it's your aspect
not
of what we do.
You're doing it different than me, but there's many ways to get to the top. It's not the same route. It's a different route. It's a very interesting route. I can't pull it off. I can't do what you do, but you look like you can do what you're doing. I don't look like this. I'm not cool. So I got to do it the way I do it.
But that's a crazy thing though, right? You just said we're cool. I look at you and I'm like, yo, this guy's cool as shit.
I know, you fucking gushing.
I don't think so.
Dave, if you wanted, you could get a blowjob so quick if you didn't mind a beard.
No, not a chance.
Well, I mean, could. A quick handy at least.
If I had a little side girl, yeah, dude, she'd be over there right away. All right,
thank you, Dave.
ladies and gentlemen, until next week, and we'd like to thank Mr. David Garofalo.
Mm-hmm.
The one and only Reba. The one and only.
Yeah. Cheers, Dave.